let's see. Unmute Tom.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Having a nice day off.
Yeah. You took the day off so you could do the podcast with me today.
Yeah, I kind of needed a day off, to be honest, as well. Good excuse, though.
Yeah, it's always good. All right, so Alien.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott's creation from 1979. Where I hope everyone almost in the world is familiar of it. And it stars Sigourney Weaver. It's about a commercial ship that accidentally, well, not accidentally, but has an alien on board, or finds an alien. What do you think of that movie?
I think it's amazing. It's one of those movies where you want to say a seminal piece in horror and sci-fi and a combination of the two. But it was like it did so much, and it changed the entire idea of what sci-fi was essentially. Because before that, everything was like scientists going off into space, and it was all very, very cheesy. But it took a very, very more realistic or relatable approach to everything it did. So it just changed the whole idea of sci-fi.
Yeah, I kind of like that because one of the controversies surrounding Alien even today is that some people refuses to label it a horror movie.
Oh yeah, because we get the snobs that refuse to name a horror movie if it's good. If it's a horror movie, it can't be good. So if it wins an award, it's no longer a horror movie; it's thriller.
Yeah, exactly. And people do that with Alien. No, it's sci-fi. And I never understood the problem with having one or more genres in a movie.
No.
Like, you always have a main genre, but a lot of movies have two main genres, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can have, you can both be a drama and a horror.
Yeah.
And it can be a horror and a sci-fi, like Alien.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still the thing to this very day that people kind of look down upon certain genres, like horror in particular. If didn't Get Out get a bunch of award nominations, and then it all of a sudden became a thriller.
Yeah,
like they just completely changed what genre it was because it got an award. It's like, are we not past the point where we can't be that snobby about this stuff anymore? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't watch horror movies. That's beneath me. It's like, what the hell? Like, some of the best movies ever made are horror movies.
Yeah. There were some. Apparently, there are some people at Oscars that aren't too happy about its nomination either.
Yeah.
Get Out was nominated to an Oscar, right? Yeah, because I think it was an Oscar. They are not at all happy with that, just because it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
But when that movie released, a lot of people also said, "No, this is not a horror movie. This is a genre movie, no, a thriller movie." And I was like, "Did you see the basement scenes, like at all?" And all the other situations around that, how robotic people are and how uncomfortable everything is. Thriller my ass.
It's a movie about that strips people from their humanity. That's pretty horrific.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's not it's not a straight up slasher, but I think there are some things with that movie that could have been different. To do it more scary, but it wouldn't have gotten a nomination if they did. So,
no.
So, yeah, I think a lot of movies like Alien will have to battle things like that for a long time.
Yeah.
I think there was some controversy about the new It too, because that movie was also good. So they were like. No, it's a mystery. Like, shut the fuck up.
Well,
really. Well, the Alien franchise, it is 4 movies. I have it's 6.
Yeah.
I had a collection here, the DVD collection, the non-expensive one, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I kind of like them all four for the different reasons.
Yeah.
People usually tell me to fuck off when I say I like Resurrection more than three, but I have
Right.
I have good reasons for it, because it's weird.
Yeah. It's also got Ron Perlman in it, which is always good, and it's got that the guy that I can't remember the name of. He's in The Crow. He's got a really deep voice.
Yeah,
That
but
guy. He's also awesome.
yeah, but I mean, I like it because you can tell it's a Frenchman that did it.
All right.
Yeah, because the whole movie is just weird.
Yeah.
It's not super alien movie, but it's weird. It has really uncomfortable scenes, um, and it has the alien hybrid, which is
Mm.
cutely terrifying, something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
It's the human eyes. It's got very human-looking eyes on it.
Yeah, it's creepy. Uh,
Yeah.
like, don't do that to creatures we create. Um, so I like that one more than three because three, I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of the dog aliens.
Mm.
They looked weird, and their anatomy looked really weird.
I think that was a bit of a problem of them trying to develop the special effects at the time
Yeah,
because it wasn't there, so it looked very weird.
yeah, and
It looks
yeah.
it kind of looks like like a really compressed GIF has been green screened onto it.
Yeah,
It's so out of place.
yeah, they have this weird green tint.
Yeah.
It's like, and I feel like they couldn't redo it, so we have to go with it. And it's like, I mean, I like the ending scene
Yeah.
when it falls down in the middle of casting, and stuff like that. It's not a bad movie overall, but it got some
No.
really glaring flaws. And then we have Alien 2, which is just I think the movie is just pure awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an action horror, and it takes 80s action into sci-fi, into Alien, and I kind of love that movie, and it's so quotable.
Oh God is it ever?
But game over, man, game over.
They're coming out the goddamn walls.
No, that movie is a classic just because you can literally quote anything from it, and someone somewhere hears it and like Alien 2, and and I like that.
Yeah.
And but it's kind of fun because the original Alien movies are all made of four different directors.
Yeah. And they're essentially the same story told by four completely different visions.
Yeah, pretty much. And then what they have in common is Ripley, and they develop her story so it feels like sequels.
Yeah.
But it's basically just the same shit. And the first one is of Ridley Scott. We're gonna get back to that person later.
Yeah.
And the second one is James Cameron, which is kind of impressive when you think about what other things he does.
Yeah.
Like, imagine telling a young person today that the guy that made Avatar and Titanic made a space horror action movie.
You could edit parts of Titanic where they're running around the ship with the axe into a horror movie.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's still there. It's James Cameron's got this weird industrial aesthetic he likes to put into his films. They're always running around steaming pipes.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be able to escape it.
No, which is weird because that seems like it's a holdback from the Roger Corman days. You know,
Yeah,
you just go to a local factory.
yeah, it is. But one thing that I like with Cameron, which he brought with him for the rest of his film, is his like how much he likes to use actual models and stuff for certain scenes. The swimming aliens in Alien 2, is it? No? Are those? Yeah, those are in two.
The swimming aliens, those were in Resurrection, weren't they?
Oh yeah, that's Resurrection. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, but the other scenes where they are in the nest, and you see all these practical effects at work, when the bodies are there and stuff like that. He really likes to use that stuff, and
Yeah.
he carried that with him when he did Titanic. Like Titanic is what 58 different sized models that he used. I mean, it's very little of that movie that is actually CGI when it comes to the boat. I mean, people and details are, but when they crack the boat, the details are CGI, but the actual boat snapping is a model.
Yeah, I've seen that footage. It's not. It's really underwhelming. It just falls apart like a cheap plastic model would. It's kind of amazing what they did with it in post.
Ridley Scott was recently honored a BAFTA award, had quite a long talk, and he mentioned how he almost never gets stage time, so don't tell him to leave before he finishes his acceptance speech.
Oh dear.
Oh, poor guy. He shouldn't have made Prometheus. But yeah, but the scenes that in when you look at how Titanic was made, the scenes that I actually felt was most impressive practic wise was the ones when they flood the corridors. Because
Yeah.
they had this like giant maze of corridors and placed cameras everywhere, and they just went around and poured water in it, and it's just how many days did that take just to build? No wonder movies are expensive. And the other, I'm gonna check up the other directors because I'm not sure. Alien 3 was made by. See,
Fishner,
yeah, it was right.
who completely disowned the film afterwards.
That's just cowardice. Like that's just being a coward. Own it, man. Own it. Do you think the guy that made Attack of the Killer Tomatoes disowned it? No. He kept on fighting. Yeah, it's David Fincher.
I think he was just so pissed off with like the studio intervention, and he was just like, I don't want to have anything to do with that anymore.
Yeah, I think so too. IMDb is great, so let's look a little bit on the trivia on this film.
Yeah. I think the alien effects in that one was partly stop motion, if I remember rightly. It was like a weird mix of stop motion and something else.
I think so. That's why the movie seems so weird to look at. Because the first Alien, it's a suit, and it is suits in the second Alien too, right? Because when they climb the walls, they just flip the shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in suits.
Yeah, which make it that shot is amazing. By the way, when they just light up. Was denied at one point. David Fincher was denied permission by the film's producers to shoot a crucial scene in the prison understructure between Ripley and the alien. Against orders, Fincher grabs Sigourney Weaver a camera and shot the scene anyway. This scene appears in the final cut. Yeah, it seems like he was kind of handcuffed.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't do anything. Also, kind of funny is that Ridley Scott was turned down to direct it. Like, he made it. He created it. Oh yeah, it was David Fincher's first film.
Yeah, because before that he was just doing music videos and stuff, and then this was his first this was his studio film, and he just by the sounds of it got majorly fucked over. Yeah, they wouldn't let him they wouldn't let him do whatever he wanted to do, and like the script kept getting changed. I don't even think the script was finished when they were filming.
No, I think I remember that too. What strikes me with this info is that they denied Ridley Scott to direct Alien 3 and took in a first timer. I guess that was to save money.
No, that's okay. That's probably a case of if Ridley Scott's takes this movie, he's going to do what he wants to do. We can't tell him to do stuff. If
Oh
we get someone
yeah,
new, we can push them and
yeah,
get them to make the movie we want.
yeah. Because he doesn't want to challenge his career that early and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They've got a lot more leeway with first-time directors. But whereas Ridley Scott, he's notorious for kind of having it his way, it's his vision.
yeah, yeah. We have seen that in recent years. Let's see. There is too much trivia on this movie. Holy shit!
Yeah, there's a
What
lot of
the fuck is
like
it?
production stuff.
This is not normal amount of trivia of a movie.
I think because the production was that messed up and chaotic that there's just so much information about it.
If I were to read all this trivia, it would be enough for a video that could call a documentary.
Oh yeah, there is a documentary about the shit show that was the production of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had the Alien quadrilogy on DVD, and then
Yeah.
some meth head stole it when it was here at the party.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah, and on meth they run fast,
Yeah.
so I never got it back. That's why I had the cheap one. It sucks. It really does.
I have a really cheap copy of Aliens with possibly the worst cover design you could get. Well, it's simple, but there's a huge sticker on it. But it's not. It's so fucking annoying.
Is it a sticker on the plastic or is it?
It's underneath. Like it's an actual sticker underneath, and it's like includes 17 minutes of restored footage. Wait a minute. Has this DVD ever been opened? It's got. I don't know if that's ever been opened. Oh well.
Oh god. Yeah. Wait. What is that? It had some interesting CGI for sure.
Yeah, Muddy was saying they used a puppet on a green screen and very early CG for Alien 3.
Yeah, the melon dogs. Well, it's not melon. It's a coconut, is it? I don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, see, I mean, I think why, because I'm born '88, so kind of watching these movies retroactively.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I didn't like the dog aliens in Alien 3 is mainly because I already seen the Thing, and the Thing does it so much better.
Yeah.
All the way, and I was like, yeah, no. But the classic xenomorph always work.
Yeah.
I want and I usually think that it's mostly the producers that want to switch it up a bit, because this series could have been so much better if the producers didn't add a lot of stuff. Like if Alien 3 didn't get fucked up, it would probably have been a longer run on it. I don't know how good Alien 4 did. Let's see if I can find that. But Alien Resurrection, it's 5 years after Alien 3. Let's see. Alien Resurrection had a 75 million budget.
Jeez.
Alien 4 opening weekend. I didn't. All right.
No.
Ooh. Okay. Wow. It had a budget of 75 million. Opening weekend it made 25 million. Total in USA 47 million. World gross, it made money back. But usually that's not good enough. They usually look at the USA numbers.
Yeah, they pretty much go by the US gross,
Yeah.
as getting their money back, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, because the worldwide is fuck that word. And I don't know which time span the world gross is. Yeah, so that took a shit. And what did Alien 3 make? What did it cost? It had a budget of 50 million. Opening weekend 23 million. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
made its money back in US. So yeah, that's why they could, make people pay for an Alien 4. And Sigourney Weaver has been in all of them.
Yeah.
And I don't think she can ever, not be Ripley.
It's because that character came along for a lot of people's kind of adolescence, I guess. And I guess she is like a hallmark of. Oh, I don't want to say that character type, but I guess female characters in general. She's
Yeah.
kind of the one that's always on top, I suppose,
Yeah,
or well known.
yeah, but she always looked badass. Like she's hot but looks badass. And
Yeah.
Before where she did Alien as Ripley, and then she did Ghostbusters. There is no Dana, only Soul.
Yeah.
And I mean, by that time, she kind of was that role.
Yeah.
They kind of had to give her some power in Ghostbusters because people was like, oh, that's Ripley, she's gonna kick ass.
Yeah.
But she kicks the good guy's ass, and so. I mean, she has done a lot of stuff. She pops up a little bit everywhere, like randomly in Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
In the end,
Yeah.
yeah, she's in a lot of stuff. But I rarely see her, because I don't know. She's been in some TV series, I guess. Oh, she's gonna be in all sequels to Avatar.
Whenever they get made.
Yeah, they already have years. Avatar
Wow.
2 comes 2020. Avatar 3 2021. Avatar 4 2024 and Avatar 5 2025. Oh, they're filming 2 and 3 at the same time. And
That's always
4 and
good.
5 at the same. Yeah, that's a sign of quality.
That always works out, right?
Anyway, so then we jump from the death of the Alien franchise in 1997, and we jump to 2012, and Ridley Scott announces an alien movie that's not an alien movie, but it's also an alien movie, but not an alien movie, namely Prometheus. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Maybe we should take the premise of this movie.
I think that's a good place to start before I start shouting.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk a lot.
Oh boy.
So the premise that we were like when we got the trailers for Prometheus, I remember this kind of detailed because we got the trailers for Prometheus and Ridley Scott said like, yeah, this is in the alien universe, and the movie is about humans looking for basically the beginning of humanity. And they like, it can't be evolution. And I'm like, fuck you. No, but so they look after what's created humanity, basically, I think.
Yeah.
And they stumble upon a place, a planet. And there they find stuff that is related to our creation.
I think technically it's called a MacGuffin.
Yeah, and I find stuff there, and apparently that is connected to the creation of mankind, but it's also violently aggressive and murders you. Sort of.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depending what the script says.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends on the scene. Depends on the scene.
I'm just gonna point out. Sorry, Doreen in the chat. You haven't seen Convent. Don't. I saw it last night for the first time. I'm not happy with my life at the moment now.
I have ruined this man. I told him to prepare for this podcast, and I just ripped open all the wounds that he had healed since 2012.
Yeah.
I just said like, yeah, we gotta watch Prometheus, and he was like, yeah, I can watch that, and get anxiety. And then I said like, yeah, I'm also gonna watch Covenant because I want to talk about that too. And I thought he had already seen it. Apparently not.
Nope.
So you're not happy with your life.
I think the problem. I have a hard time divorcing Covenant from Prometheus because I watched.
Wait. We will get there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We will get there. What I wanted to point out is the reason that Ridley Scott did these movies is because he thought that the Alien franchise went the wrong way, and he had scripts, way back before the first Alien, on what this series was going to be about. But the first Alien movie was basically him doing a script to get money to do, a first movie. And then he kind of hoped that he would get to do the other storylines he had planned out.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out that way. And he has stated in a lot of interviews lately, especially after Covenant was released, that he doesn't care very much what we think of what way it should take, because he wants to, visualize his dream. And I respect that. But, yeah, let's talk Prometheus. The first few scenes are good.
Well, I would argue that.
Wait, let's weed out the positives of this movie.
Okay, sure.
Right,
let's go for it.
All right. The first few scenes is interesting. They're good. They start out like a cool archaeological.
I really like this scene of David alone on the spaceship.
Yeah.
Just going around doing his. I really like. Basically, David's pretty much, I think, a constant good in those two movies.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender kind of lifts everything with his presence. But yeah. So the first scenes are good. They're cool archaeological scenes, and then you have then the movie is well shot. Like
oh yeah,
the what do you call it? Cinematography is amazing. I mean, Prometheus nails that. There is not a single person in the world that can say that movie is shot badly. Because if you say that, you are brain damaged. That is just a fact. Like, that's an objective fact. Like, the camera work is perfect. And that is what makes me so fucking mad.
It's... Prometheus is
and Noomi
one of those things. I like her. My friend Muddy, who's in the chat, doesn't like her. We had long discussions about this, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, right. So I feel like she's a good actress, but a lot of the lines and a lot of the directions she got was just dumb.
Yeah.
Like that she's Christian in that kind of future. Is really weird.
It is weird, and the fact is they could have done something with that, but they don't.
Yeah, they could have done something with it, because she's looking for, the beginning of mankind. So they kind of haven't a thing there. Like, they could have gone with it, but then they just, nah, she's Christian.
That's a lot of Prometheus, is that, though, is here's an idea, no, we'll forget about that idea, we're moving on to this idea. No, forget that idea, we're moving on to this. It's just, I don't know what they were trying to do. Yeah. And I think that is the problem with Prometheus. It had so much potential to be this cool thing and do something with the alien universe that we've not seen before, and be more philosophical minded as opposed
Yeah.
to straight up horror or action. But instead, they just kind of threw ideas at the wall and said, "What sticks? Well, some of it sticks, but none of it's connected. Fuck it."
Yeah, I mean, they kind of do. Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen the show Friends?
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of do. They kind of wrote this movie like they were Chandler, because Chandler spit jokes, and
Yeah.
and like that's because the actor spit jokes. So we're like, just spit the jokes, and everything was left in. Not everything is super funny, but some of it sticks. And they kind of did the same thing here, except that Friends is actually funny, and this just gets frustrating.
Yeah. With the just every decision is, why did you do that? Because it has no payoff, or why is the character doing this? They either have no motivation, or it doesn't make any sense for this specific character to do that at the time.
Yeah, rewatched Prometheus yesterday. I think it's the fourth time I see the movie, and I did it in bed. And this morning, when my alarm went off, my cat started that movie again, and I was like, "Oh, fuck you!" And it was that end scene when she flies off.
Oh, God.
The lone survivor of the Prometheus, and I was like, "Go fuck yourself!"
Yeah,
and
pretty
then I
much.
went and made coffee. That was how I woke up this morning. That was not a good way to wake up.
No. I woke up after 6 hours after seeing Covenant, so I wasn't in a great mood either. I feel it's bad because I think throughout watching these movies, I think the one person who suffered more is probably Muddy, my friend, because we were watching them together. And yesterday was 6 hours of me shouting at him, like so angry.
Well, so let's go through the issues with Prometheus a bit, and it kind of starts right in the beginning. It is clear that Ridley Scott wants to build this universe, like this connected universe with everything, and a timeline to follow, and it has that Star Wars problem with technology.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck happened up to the time of the first Alien? Did we like go Soviet or something? Because because the technology in Prometheus is, while it's not original ideas and it's kind of boring, it looks good. It looks fancy and stuff. And in the first Alien, it's like metal. It's metal.
It's very utilitarian.
Yeah, it's grated metal and steam pipes, and the food is basically shit.
Yeah.
And here's like, everything is white.
Everything looks like an Apple product.
Oh yeah, it does. It looks like Steve Jobs designed everything.
Yeah.
In a movie. But they kind of started off with after they find their shit, they introduce Wayland Yutani. Because I think first they find some clues on Earth, and then they get hired by Wayland Yutani to go out in space.
Yeah, it skips a lot. It goes from them in a cave in an island off Scotland finding these symbols on a cave, and the backstory is like they found these symbols in different cultures from different time periods all over the world, and then it just skips.
Yeah, there is a lot there that would have been a lot more interesting to get, detailed information of.
Well, yeah, because
I would
nothing
like
matches
to see
up.
more archaeology in that movie.
Well, yeah, they
See
could have.
how it connects.
They could have had more of that when they actually got to the planet.
Yeah, exactly. They could have a little bit more on Earth.
There's a lot of jumping to conclusions in Prometheus. They find these things on the wall of some like star systems. We don't find this out until later. So they find star systems. They find evidence of this in different cultures all over the world, and they jump to the conclusion that it's a map to the people who created us, based on nothing at all.
Yeah,
Absolutely no evidence of this at all. And they just go, and at some point they go to Wayland, or Wayland contacts them and to go off and find them. But it's like they have no evidence to base this off. They literally found cave paintings of circles.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
would be different if there was cave paintings that definitively showed a connection between the engineers and humans. Maybe there's like, I don't know, a crude drawing of the DNA helix or something, but there's nothing. It's circles.
yeah, I mean, even worse. Like they are almost worse than our real life ancient astronaut theorist fuckers out there.
Yeah.
Because they do the same thing, and when they did that conclusion in the movie, I was like, oh come on. Like I would have liked to see more how they worked that out, because
Yes.
that is not something I would guess if I found something in the cave. I would be
You
like, all right, so they painted off the sky or
Yeah.
something.
You wouldn't guess that. I sure as shit think two doctors wouldn't guess that.
Yeah, and because you had this real life example, because I think Ridley Scott built it a little bit about the Sumerian tablets.
Sure, yeah. I
Because
think
this,
that's mentioned in the film as well.
yeah, because the Sumerian tablets were accurate in the way that they knew how many planets there were in the solar system. Well, they counted Pluto, I think, but we discarded Pluto, so they're still wrong. No, but no, but that kind of makes sense, and we know that because the Sumerians left a dictionary for us, so
Yeah.
we could, learn their language. These, cavemen in Scotland did no such thing. So to come to any conclusion of it is really weird.
It's such a huge leap in logic, and also a leap in logic that has them build a spacecraft. I'm assuming they built it because they named it Prometheus, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And this, I'm assuming, a very expensive trip across the galaxy into sections they've never been to before. On a hunt, they might have created us. Like the storyline should have been: here's evidence of aliens. They had some interaction with Earth. Here's the starships. We can go out there now. Let's go. Let's find out what this is and what connection they have. What did they do to our culture as a species? But no, they just created us. And then later on, they find out, yeah, they did create us. And she acts fucking surprised. It's like,
Yeah.
you fucking said they did this. Why are you surprised?
One thing I wonder, I always blank this out. Do we know how far into space they have been before?
Oh, I don't think they mention it, actually, no.
No, because I was thinking,
Unless-
okay, so I was assuming, like, when you begin to see the movie and they say, we're going to fly out in space, I was like, all right, so you've been to Mars.
Yeah.
They never specify that, but then they fly out in the middle of fucking nowhere, something not even the Star Trek crew would do, or not even people in Star Wars.
They don't even tell the crew where they're going or why until
Yeah.
they get there. That's not how you organize an expedition.
Yeah, and like backed up.
Yeah, it's
And usually when you talk about expeditions in normal cases, you usually have base camps on the way that you can return to in case you get fucked. How do you return to Earth? Because that was their only base camp, right? So how do
Yeah.
you return to Earth from there if you get fucked? You're dead. So I guess they never thought to return.
I don't know. They named the ship Prometheus. I think they were pretty down on the idea anyway, unless they don't know what the myth of Prometheus is.
Yeah, but
That's that's a harbinger of doom, you know.
yeah. But I was like, I kind of think that they tried to correct that in Covenant by making them actual
Oh, yeah.
colonizers. I was like, but they flew there in Prometheus, but they weren't colonizers, and they had no backup plan, and they had nothing, and okay, and it sounds like a shit plan when you say it like this, but
Oh yeah.
But if I'm gonna go into the woods, let's say I'm gonna hunt boar deep in the Swedish woods, I still have several spots that I can return to, that I know where a satellite phone works or something. In case something happens, they are in the middle of space and have nothing prepared for that. They just fly straight from Earth straight out in the darkness, and like, fuck yeah. And I was like, yeah, okay. I can buy that. No, no, I can't. But I can buy it for the movie's sake.
Yes.
And then they come to this planet, and Ridley Scott has his favorite thing with storms happen. No, that might be. They're going down on their planet. I blanked out now.
Well, there's
I
the
saw
all
this movie
there's,
yesterday.
there's the all important briefing scene where everyone wakes up out of cryosleep,
Yeah.
whatever, and they're basically like, I think one of the characters says, "Oh, God only knows why we're here. It's business, whatever. Who cares?" And then they expound what the premise of the movie is, which is we found evidence of alien civilization in contact with Earth, and they might have created us. We've nothing to base this on, by the way, and everyone in the room acts accordingly. You're full of shit. What are you, mad? You have
Yeah.
You have no evidence for this, so they're all upset. But why weren't they told this in the first place?
Yeah.
Why would they just all put on the ship? Get on the ship. We're going somewhere. You don't need to know you're getting paid.
Yeah,
That works if you're transporting something illegal or smuggling. It doesn't work when you're sending a scientific team to somewhere. You don't send a biologist, geologist to somewhere that they have no idea where it is.
Yeah.
You've got to prepare for these things.
Yeah, and then they go down on the planet, and I don't mean they scout around a bit, and find a cave. There's a lot of caves. I think they find a cave, and they realize that they can breathe the air in the cave.
Yeah, they find like a weird mountain temple thing, and there's like the valley it's in is very unnaturally even.
Yeah.
And I think there's lines on the ground that's supposed to be like those Mayan
Oh yeah.
drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that anyway. So they go into this thing and they go into a cave and it's like, oh, there's breathable air, and it's like, don't take your fucking helmet off. Just because you know there's air does not mean there's not particles of things you don't know exist yet.
Maybe it's like 100% asbestos. What do you do then? Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Have they got sensors to detect alien bacteria you've never encountered before?
It's like they take off their helmet and everyone died, and the one that doesn't take off the helmet, like, congratulations, you played yourself. And
Basically.
me, how the fuck am I gonna get home? All right.
It's like I think one of the arguments is like we're criticizing Prometheus a lot, and one of the counter arguments is, oh, I know it's a movie, it's a suspension of disbelief. But the problem with Prometheus is it sets itself up from a very scientific point of view, with very lofty ideas of what creation is and what God is and what a relationship is between that.
Yeah.
So when you set yourself up for this lofty ideal, you're opening yourself up to criticism, because when your characters who are scientists start acting like fucking idiots,
Yeah.
it's really obvious. You can forgive that in other films, but not this one.
And I mean, at this point, the movie still has, that road to a philosophical debate going on.
Yeah.
Until the snake thing, because anyway, they go into the cave and they send away some balls that like map the place, so the people up in the ship have a map of it, basically, and then they go around there, and then we find out the biologist is brain damaged, because he finds this snake thing.
Oh no, can I talk about the parts before that?
Yeah, I do that.
So they go into the cave, and I think David is messing around with the walls. There's a great subtitle for this film that a reviewer, when this came out, the reviewer said, this film should be called "Dude, Don't Touch That." And that is the entire film summed up in a sentence.
Oh my god, that's a great. I'm gonna name this video that. I'm gonna
You
name
should.
when I upload it to YouTube. It's gonna be.
I think that was
the lounge. The lounge episode 5. Don't touch that.
Yeah, I think that was. I don't know if you know the Cinema Snob. He did a review of it, and he was just like, "This movie should be called Dude, Don't Touch That," because at every point people
Who did
touch.
you say?
Cinema Snob.
He's on YouTube.
Yeah, he does like reviews of exploitation horror movies,
Oh, sorry.
but
Very
he does it
sorry.
like in the guise of a cinema snob. He's like a really snobby. He's like, oh, why is this happening in this
Is
film? But
it?
it's a caricature.
Yeah, is
It's
it
a comedy show.
Stone Gremlin Productions?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I subscribe now, so I gotta check that out later.
Yeah,
So
he's
fun.
got some. It's got some funny stuff in there. You'll like it because he does. I think he's done most of the Friday the 13th films,
Yeah. Oh,
and
great.
he's a big fan of those films. So he takes the piss out of them, makes fun a little bit, but
Yeah.
you know it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah. I think I would. I think I would enjoy that more than CinemaSins. So yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I take the piss on shit I love all the time. Like
yeah.
I saw Bruce Campbell yesterday tweet. What someone tweeted at Bruce Campbell, like, I feel like Star Wars would have been completely different if Bruce Campbell was in it. And Bruce Campbell answered like, "Yeah, I wouldn't take it. Well, it wouldn't take 39 movies to get shit done or something like that." Wait, I have it here. Oh, fuck you, Microsoft. It wouldn't take 32 movies to take care of business. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Oh
So
dear.
yeah, taking a piss on shit you love is the
Yeah.
funniest.
So yeah, what was I? David like touches something on the wall, and then some holograms of the engineers appear, and they're running away from something. Like very clearly panicked. They're looking behind them as
Yeah.
they run.
Wait. Question. How the fuck did he know that combination?
Oh, it's it's actually funny. I think they mentioned previous to the film that for the last how many ever years they've been in space, he's been studying ancient languages,
Oh,
and that
fuck
somehow
off.
I know, it's terrible writing.
Oh
It somehow
yeah,
gives him the ability to understand.
because I always wonder that. It seems like they mention it like on the fly, and then
It's very like offhanded,
because
just a remark.
usually I notice those details in movies because when someone brings something like that up, I usually like, yeah, but that scene tells you about this, but I never feel like that is the case. It's usually only a line in Prometheus, because that is a dumb fucking shit. Because I could tell you that all the symbols in Prometheus do not exist on Earth.
Yeah,
So they are like bad fan versions of
yeah,
Aztec and Mayan and maybe hieroglyphs. I don't know.
mhm.
And I mean, but the funny thing is that they found that in the beginning they were in Scotland and found that cave, and that should have been either Celtic or cave paintings.
Just bad password protection, just query, but they're in their language. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to that part. Don't worry. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
so
So
yeah,
the engineer.
yeah, they're running away from something. It never revealed what, by the way. Never revealed why they're all dead. One of them tries to run into a room, falls down, and then the door shuts on its head
Oh yeah, yeah.
because apparently having any kind of safety protocols is beneath them. I don't know.
Yeah,
And that's when
I always wondered how the holograms of those happen. Doesn't their cameras cover the whole room, or is it? I don't know. It's really weird.
yeah, it's very selective of what David just so happened to press the right hieroglyph on the wall, and he got that. It's a
Yeah,
good thing as well because otherwise it's very confusing. So then that's and the room that the engineer was trying to get into was decapitated is the room with all of the jars and the big head, and it's hermetically sealed or something for the last millennia or however long it's been. And they go in. David starts touching everything.
yeah, yeah. Everything is sealed and locked away. Let's open it.
Yeah, he just starts touching everything, and they find the head. They see some weird paintings on the wall. They see that weird xenomorph statue thing.
Yeah, that Jesus one.
Yeah,
It's kind of Jesus on a cross, but
it is. Yeah,
yeah, and important to know here. I have looked at that image many times, uh, especially after I saw Alien Covenant.
yeah,
Because and then I saw that picture and I was like, that is a xenomorph.
it is.
So we get to that when we talk about Covenant, but Anyway,
Yep.
yeah. Continue.
What else happens? Oh yeah, they get the head. Because it's everything in the room, because the door's been opened, is now decaying.
Yeah.
All the stuff. So they're like, we have to get this head back to the ship, otherwise it's gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Some reason.
I'm
So
just gonna-
they go back to the ship with the head. For some reason, they electrocute it. I don't know if they're trying to do a fucking.
I like how they go all reanimator. Like, yeah.
Well, I was
dude.
thinking, is this supposed to be a reference to Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Which is again another literary allusion they should have went with. It should have been At the Mountains of Madness or Frankenstein.
Yeah.
It could have been one of those, and they just kind of don't. So
I mean,
that's when
they kind of have. They kind of start at the Mountains of Madness, but then
yeah,
no.
like they're just the first
I'm just
couple
gonna
chapters.
answer Muddy Mike. The whole combination of languages is just the same thing they did in AVP, by the way. Yeah, kind of, but AVP did it a little bit better because they actually, use Aztec culture a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
the pyramid is clearly Aztec or Inca.
There's a
and
point.
So that is not a good sign when I can say that Alien versus Predator get iconography better.
Yeah.
That is bad. Yeah. All right. So they electrocute the head, and
I just realized something. Sorry, you know how you were talking about David knowing the symbols on the walls is bullshit, which it is. There's no reference point for any of that. Why wasn't there a reference point? Why didn't they find alien language on Earth and then David could have studied that? But there's nothing.
I mean, because that would have been such an easy fucking thing to do. Like, let's say they in the fucking cave they went in, like they find a tablet that is, like the Sumerian tablets.
Yeah.
That basically lets you learn the fucking language, and then they give it to an android because no one else gives a shit.
Yeah.
And then he learns it. That is 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That they pick up the tablet, and in another scene they just mention that they use that tablet to translate. And
Something. It's like what's the thing that they sent out in space? It's like a bronze disc with details of the human race on it, and there's a man and a woman.
yeah.
Yeah. Why just have an alien version of that? They came to Earth at one point and they handed out these things and said, when you become sufficiently advanced enough, you'll be able to find out whatever. But we get nothing. We get fucking circles on a wall.
Oh my god. They were like, yeah, for being master race and all, they kind of, yeah. For being the master race and all, they kind of act just as dumb as Nazis.
They really are. It's their motivations are unclear, which is the entire problem with all the movie, especially David's character.
Oh, right. But their motivation gets even more weird when you see Covenant. And
Pioneer plaques. Thank you, Swedish Magpie. That's what it's called. The Pioneer plaque. Yeah. Well, just have one of those. We as a culture can relate to that because we know what that is.
And we have also, is it the Viking probe that has, music and
Yes,
beats
yes.
and shit like that? Like it also has human laughter, and tries to it plays out all that into space, and I think it's left our solar system now, but something like that. Why not? I mean,
Anything.
they are super aliens with a powerful fucking gun in the middle of that fucking. You know that? Oh my god! In the first Alien, they go into that that scene with what we learn in the rest of the Alien movies is where usually the alien queen is. They find in the first Alien they find a dead queen. And in the second Alien, there is an alive queen. And it usually sits on that gun thing. And
that whole thing was... They were really vague about that in the first one. They called that thing the space jockey.
Yeah.
I don't think that was supposed to be a queen, though. Because
no, maybe not.
Ridley Scott has really kind of come down on James Cameron's version of the xenomorph biology. Like, I don't think he likes the idea of a queen. I don't know.
But that makes more sense.
It does make more sense.
That's why
it makes
created
way more
it,
sense.
I guess. I mean, because who the fuck lays eggs? Do this this monster race do they go out on their own ship in a room and just shit out eggs in perfect order?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And we'll probably talk more about that with Convent, because there's eggs in that for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can. I mean, we can today in real life we can create eggs in labs, like you know how they create them in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like we can create that, but the thing with Jurassic Park is that it is almost believable because it actually uses science.
Yeah.
To it just skips a couple of decades in science to
Sure.
do what they do, but basically the theory is there. Like it's a hypothesis that people work with, and the Jurassic Park author used that when he wrote the book, and then the movie showed us that. I mean, the theory is not that off. Jurassic Park is off though, but Prometheus is just. The problem with Prometheus is that it doesn't answer anything. No. Because it begins with that now we know there is a super race, and we know that something else is more super because it killed them.
Well, it's not only killed them, but it's very clear looking at the ritualistic display of the engineers that they worship something.
Yeah, and
it's almost
the opening scene with that really buff dude, and
he
drinks something and then throws it.
That's not a sign.
Water, and
that's a ritual.
Yeah, and I was
that's
like,
not
what?
a science experiment.
Yeah, and when I saw that in the theater, I was like, what?
Also, the spaceship that he arrives on is completely different to any other engineer ship you see.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's not even the same shape. It's completely different.
Before Prometheus existed, I always thought, why do you always find the same fucking shit? Why is there no humans?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Why is it, like, there is 4 movies, right? Why is there no human in any instance that mapped that shit out and said, like, stay the fuck out of here, don't go there?
Yeah, right.
It never happens. Like, I understand that, the crew can't do it because they die, but someone at Weyland-Yutani has to have some morals. I guess. I mean.
Well, then you bring up the whole question of.
Yeah, look at Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
Weyland-Yutani would have an Edward Snowden. I can fucking guarantee you that a company that big wouldn't get away with sending I don't know how many $1 million out several times and just not mark that out on a map.
So a bunch of people know there is alien life out there, and that hasn't been leaked somehow.
Yeah.
But that's hard to believe.
Yeah, I didn't believe that in the first 4 movies, but then Prometheus comes along, and that takes place several hundred years before the first Alien. Yeah. And I was like, and it's still not mapped out. I mean, in a sensible universe, someone would have leaked what happened to the Prometheus, because I guess it was in the in the public's eyes with the discoveries.
Well, we don't know, because it's never like. The guy who owns the company disappears. That isn't news, apparently.
Yeah.
I know he was old.
Yeah.
But unless Weyland-Yutani literally own most of the world, there's no way they could send a ship full of people off on an expedition to an unknown part of the galaxy without anyone noticing.
Look today. Elon Musk couldn't even do his party trick and send a car into space without everyone knowing. And by the way, before we continue that, Elon Musk sending a car into space is the dumbest fucking waste of resources I ever fucking heard. I was like, oh yeah, you're. I was like, when I was reading that, I was like, oh yeah, you're a rich white guy.
It'll certainly confuse whatever species finds that. Like clearly, this civilization is more advanced than we ever could be. Driving a car in space.
it caught a UFO like closing into Earth, sees a
Oh yeah.
rocket, and it has an attached car to it, and they were like, "What the fuck?" And it just flies
I
away again.
I do love all the jokes about that he was he was getting rid of a body.
Yeah, that would explain why the resources.
Oh, that's weird. But yeah, you don't get stuff like that without having funding. You don't go
No,
off on an expedition of this magnitude. You're finding out the origin of life on Earth. You're gonna need some backing for that.
the Swedish magma on the top of the chain in Wayland Enterprises. There is a queen alien, and she is giggling when she sends human to the death.
Makes as much sense as anything else in
Yeah, it
Prometheus.
does. And well, I mean, yeah, they need funding because I guess they're a private company, so I guess they
Yeah,
are suspecting that they're gonna, somehow profit from all of this. And if you can't, if you do by their model, what profit are you making? Are
I
you
don't.
are you thinking like, yeah, we spend like the whole, GDP of China on a
Hmm.
ship and send
Yeah,
it out in nowhere for several years? A regular company would plummet after that. They're like, oh right, where did that all that money go? Someone would ask.
yeah.
Uh, okay, but no one asked. Earth is stupid in this one.
Well, we have to assume that it was a public thing.
Yeah, that's what I think, especially with the archaeological finds.
Yeah,
Especially since there are Americans in Scotland doing those finds,
yeah.
and Scotland has, they have, legislation about
Hmm.
archaeological finds. So an American can't just go to Scotland, find an artifact, and fuck back to USA. It was a
Yeah.
long time since that was possible. It was when the British were sailing around the world and stealing other people's stuff.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
kind of funny how they know exactly where the cave is, where the exact cave painting they needed was.
yeah, that is also stupid.
I thought all of these civilizations with the clues from the engineers were completely unrelated from each other. How did they find the cave?
In the Highlands of Scotland.
Oh, it's in Skye or something. This is one of the islands off the coast of Scotland. The
Oh,
places where like one person lives. A really crotchety guy, and he has a family of goats. That's the kind of island we're talking about here.
oh yeah, yeah, it is.
There's one guy, and there's a brewery that makes fantastic rum.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, and people like go from all over the world to get a bottle of it.
Yeah, it's like you don't know. It's not how that works.
And and I was like, yeah, okay, right. For disbelief, just because the movie opens there, they find the cave,
Sure.
fine, whatever. Indiana Jones finds a lot of stuff too. Uh, he finds the fucking ark,
Yeah.
and we believe that. But then they are on this planet, and they see this video, basically this live leak video of engineers getting slaughtered
Yeah.
in some kind of terror act. I have no idea what happened.
It's never explained. It's barely even mentioned after that point.
Yeah, and after that, we cut to the dumbest motherfuckers in the whole
Oh
film,
boy.
because they don't go in the same direction because
No.
it's movie logic, so they split up.
It,
And
they get scared by corpses.
yeah, so they run in.
There's a pile of corpses. The biologist freaks out and runs away. I'm sorry, if there was a biologist and he found an alien corpse, he is going to be literally all over that thing.
Yeah, they are.
But he and the geologist get scared and they run off. And then the geologist, the guy who's in charge of mapping the fucking cave system, gets lost.
Oh, I can't take it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. So I am no PhD. I am just right out of school and into removing asbestos. But
Yeah.
I know a biologist, and when one of my geckos died, Prozac, when she died, he wanted that body,
Yeah.
and I was like, why? Well, you don't know why she died.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, she just died, sudden death. And he was like, but I can tell you why. And I was like, no, 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 you can't have it. No. So biologists are weird. They do really important work, but they are weird.
Yeah, and then you put a literal pile of bodies of a completely new species, and he runs away. No.
Yeah, that's
Who vetted these people? Why did you let them go on this mission?
yeah.
Was there no psych checks?
Yeah, I mean, he should act a little bit more like the marine biologist in Jaws.
Yeah.
Because that guy is terrified of sharks, but he's also, really into sharks. Like,
Yeah.
he can't get enough of them. He opens up a shark and digs around in it like it's, a raccoon in a trash bin.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't act like that. Except, and this is the only time he's a biologist, but he's a stupid biologist. Because they come over this small pond, and they see something moving, and up comes a cobra without a snake head.
Yeah.
It's basically a cobra without a head. It's only the wing part of the cobra, the sail. And he decides to touch it for some fucking reason. It even has
It is giving the universal sign of "Don't fucking touch me! I'm going to kill you."
yeah, because
In nature, animals have a posture and a defense system to warn you to back the fuck off. This
Yeah.
is a worldwide constant.
yeah,
In our world, we can assume it's a universal constant just by going from the laws of nature in general.
yeah, because,
If that was a snake doing that, he would understand that snake's probably going to bite me if I go near it. But he keeps going near it.
yeah, my friend's dad was a snake expert that had a lot of snakes. And he got the snakes that the cops confiscated from people smuggling snakes.
Oh right, yeah,
And usually drug people smuggling cool animals like caimans or spit cobras or black mambas. He had 2 of those.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so he worked with that and tried to get him off the zoos. So when my friend came home from school one day and he opened the front door, there was a spit cobra there that had escaped, and it stood up in the hallway, and he just closed the door and called his dad.
Yeah.
And it was like, because people know that. Like, if you go into a room and there is something standing up, a snake standing up, you back the fuck off and try to run away before it
Even
spits you in the
if you've
face.
never seen one before,
Yeah.
you know what that is. There's
Yeah,
something
exactly.
deep. There's something deep down in your biology that tells you back the fuck off. This thing is dangerous.
Yeah, because I mean, the only one I can excuse not understanding it is Dennis in Jurassic Park when the Dilophosaurus, because it plays with him.
Yes,
It's like it just stands around being cute and looks at him.
he's still scared of it.
Yeah, he's still scared of it. See, he still understands that it fucks with him, and it's like, yeah, I need to get away. And he doesn't even know what it is.
No.
But he knows he needs to get away. Everyone knows that. And if a dog shows its teeth, what do? Do you pet it? No. And if a crocodile lays still, do you just put your hand in its mouth? No. Don't do that. It will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone knows. In this scene, though, he just keeps on getting forward to whatever the fuck decapitated cobra this is, and he grabs him and bites him, I think.
Yeah, grabs hold of his hand and starts biting and curls around his arm, and so tight it snaps his arm in half.
Yeah, which is also weird because usually snakes are either stranglers or biters, but this one is both, because it's a super snake.
The biology of this thing makes no sense because the other guy tries to get it off. He cuts it. It turns out it has acid for blood because aliens. That's literally the only reason. And then the other guy who's trying to cut it off, he falls head first into the black goo, and I think his visor gets melted and whatever. The guy with the snake on his arm, it eats its way into his suit, up into the helmet, and then it, for some reason, deep throats him. just
Oh
straight down
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's Prometheus' way to reference, I guess, facehuggers,
I guess, but
sort of.
it makes biologically it makes absolutely no
I
sense.
mean, because the super snake's head kind of reminds of the shoulder
Yeah,
wings of the
the
facehugger.
they're almost like lungs because when it's on the guy's
Yeah,
face, you can see it breathe like going up and down. So it's almost like lungs for the host, not for it. I mean, it's kind
yeah.
of like a
That
compression system on it.
that scene was so much better when the audio was leaked on
Oh,
YouTube.
did you see that too? I
No,
was
no.
Muddy in the chat and me. We saw that as well, and we thought just the audio alone that scene was great.
The audio. Oh, right. Only the audio.
Yeah, they leaked it on YouTube. It was just the audio,
Oh yeah, I can imagine that sounded
no
amazing.
visuals. It was just the audio, and it sounded amazing because you use your imagination.
Yeah.
And
So
that
you
scene
can
would
so
have been
you so
so
we
much
can li-
better.
so we can literally blame the direction here, because bec- because
How? I mean,
someone wrote and directed what happens in that scene.
yeah, you can fix that scene by having the people on the Prometheus on the bridge. They get an emergency call from those two guys. We're still lost. There's something in here. It's like there's things in here,
Oh
and you
yeah,
never see it.
yeah,
Never see it, and
that
they're
is a
just
good
saying.
idea.
And then all you see is the characters on the Prometheus, their reaction to the audio.
Yeah, it's weird that a renowned sci-fi horror director should take notes from war movies. Because
Yeah,
in war movies they have those scenes usually.
yeah,
Radio calls like that. That's a little bit shameful because like he shouldn't. I feel like he wanted to tell a story and he couldn't really do it, so it's just we need to have scenes and then I don't know it because that scene is lame
yeah.
as it is right now.
It,
I think I can supercut it.
yeah, me and Muddy Mike were discussing this the other night of how to cut that together.
Yeah, I think you can cut out the stupid shit that looks like comedy.
Yeah. If you just take some reaction shots from people on the bridge of the Prometheus, get the audio, put a little static or something on it, cut it up so it's not so long, just have bits of it.
Yeah,
And then it's on my arm, it's him screaming and then dead.
yeah, that would have been that would have been a great scene. That would have been tension building and everything.
yeah,
Like
I
holy shit,
wonder,
this world is scary.
Muddy, can you go on YouTube and see, and I don't know if it's going to still be up. Can you go find and see if this audio is still on there? Like, I don't know if that video is going to be up because this is like 2011. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it'll still be there.
I haven't heard it actually, which is that's kind of sad. I wish I had.
Yeah, it's just leaked audio, I guess, and it's a much condensed version. It works so much better.
Yeah, but I think that, as I said, the actors in that scene, I don't see that they do a lot of wrongs. I see it being directed to create a situation that wasn't necessary, and then it was like,
Yeah.
oh, can't you just fall down there? And
Well,
can't you just do that? Scream a little bit, have panic,
yeah.
and then they added the CGI to it, and everything just looks dumb. It's like I get angry when I see that scene.
Oh yeah, nothing becomes of those worms either. That's it. They're gone now. That from that scene. I mean,
Yeah.
later on they go back in and find the corpses, and it shoots out of his fucking mouth. It's gone now, and it's like, what was the point? What was the point in the worm creature or the snake worm, whatever it was? There's no point.
It kind of reminds me of this is a little bit dumb because have you seen the new Cloverfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, the worm scene in that.
Oh man.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but
No.
that's because the movie is about making no sense. Like
It's chaos.
yeah, it's a one-time thing and it's okay because they set it up like that. They like random shit happens because dimensions crashes. In this movie, it's just let's change the monster 500 times.
Yeah, well, that's the problem though. They could have went that way with the movie. It could have been a body horror movie
Yeah.
where every person well, not maybe not every person, but every person is affected by the black goo in a different way.
Yeah, it would have been like a better version of Starship Troopers 2. Because that one is a body horror. It's a body horror slasher movie.
Yeah.
Sort of, because they're locked into this defense tower, and then there is like this insect that, takes control of their friends and shit. And it's like, all right, this is not Starship Troopers just because you wear the gear.
Yeah.
But it could have been something like that, and it actually be good, like an actual scientific adventure that
flirts
goes
with
fucking wrong.
Well, it flirts with the idea. You've got the worms mutating, and then you've got Holloway disintegrating for whatever reason, and then you've got the geologist guy who turns into a weird monkey alien thing. They could have done something where each person is like, but the nature of the black goo is so chaotic that it will never create the same thing twice.
Yeah, they could have done that, because the scene, where they are at the land. What do you call it? The stairway up to the ship. The
the landing platform.
Yeah, the
platform. The ramp.
Like when they burn him to death. That
Yeah.
thing. I mean, that scene is great in and of itself. Everyone is acting fantastic in that scene. Like, it's panic. Like, people like, no, don't shoot. We know this guy. And someone like, yeah. Flame into death, motherfucker. And it's like, everything is just chaotic. And if they would have continued with that kind of body horror, it could have been something.
Which they should have done. It should have been like, just to show how chaotic this. Like, you have that as the the kind of antagonistic force in the movie is these people changing, and then you have the philosophical, why would they create us with this stuff if it's so, were we an accident, and what does that make our lives at this point, blah blah blah. You could have done that, but they just kind of half-ass it. It's like we have this scene, and this scene, and they have no connection, just put them in whatever.
Yeah.
And then you look into it, and then you find out one of the persons who wrote the script also wrote Lost.
No, right. I didn't know that.
And that explains everything.
Who the fuck is that?
Damon Lindelof.
Oh my god.
He wrote Lost, and if you know anything about Lost, you know it's nothing but things happening for no reason that go nowhere, and that is what Prometheus is.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of Lost after season 3. I just fuck you. And I mean, that's before it really went crazy. Okay, it's not the same video, but it's the same audio. You know what? I'm gonna open. How long is it? Oh, it's a minute. We can listen to it.
Cut it off! Cut it off! Cut it off! Cut it off!
Yeah, you just listen to that video and you can see how much more effective it is just audio.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, yeah, that is great. It actually feels like a fucking slaughter.
That was one of the first things I ever saw of Prometheus. That got me really excited.
Yeah. If that would have been a teaser that they released, I would be like, holy shit, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be like, it's gonna be like Aliens but horror.
Yeah. Far more personal horror, whereas Aliens was people being killed, whatever. Far more personal horror where you, like The Thing. You know these characters, it's
exactly.
horrible. But just...
I'm looking at what... I'm gonna see if I know anything this dude has done except... Alright. He wrote Cowboys vs. and Aliens. Star Trek Into Darkness. I am not Trekkie, but I heard that one sucked.
Yeah.
Ultimate Wolverine versus Hulk. TV miniseries. Yeah, never heard of it.
I think I've seen that.
He wrote a episode of Phineas and Ferb. Okay. And yay. All right. So, yeah, good to have him on board with...
I think that's the ultimate tragedy of Prometheus. A few tweaks to the script, a few little editing choices, and it would have been great.
yeah. I was thinking. I've been thinking a lot about it lately. The story is, complicated, but that doesn't make it impossible to tell.
No.
But Prometheus fails in that in that way, because it doesn't, try to tell it really. It just tries to make it more and more mysterious. So when you get to the third act, you don't even have time to answer shit about it. Wait, he's going to have his filthy hands in Watchmen? Yeah, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Um, because I feel like, they have a story. It is when I wrote that story out, like I did like a map in a pad, and I wrote it out, and you can find good ways to connect things and make it a comprehensible story, a coherent story that you can understand, even if it's deep and complicated.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cool if they made it so that people could actually think about it and make fan theories and actually connect it together. But now it's like everything is fan theories and nothing is confirmed. So, yeah. And, after the body horror, after they burn him to death, everything goes to shit.
Yeah, it's basically just, we forgot about the sex scene. There's a slight sex scene. They have sex because whatever they're celebrating.
Yeah.
That is pivotal because then she becomes pregnant all of a sudden. Yeah. When in the scene which is a really important character moment.
Wait, back up, because Fassbender gives him a shot with the goo in.
Yeah, for some reason.
He's the only one doing science here, and he only does that because he doesn't have a lab, so he uses whatever he has. Which is a drunk guy by a billiard board. And all the boards are chrome colored, by the way, so I don't know how to play that.
I could say a lot about some of the design choices in Prometheus. They took the idea of the future way too far.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to the bathroom a little bit, so I put on a pause screen and going to mute you for a couple of seconds.
I'll talk to people in chat.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back. They didn't do anything about that with a Christianity. They pointed out they're not even, design placements in the scenes that kind of point to it. Usually a movie, it's always better when a movie doesn't straight out tell you.
Yes.
With a narration. Like in other movies, let's say that we follow a cop. And he has a suspect he wants to investigate, so he goes to their home and knocks on the door and, gets invited in. Immediately in that scene, they set up what kind of person this is by either, having a lot of religious stuff or something like that, so we kind of can guess something out of it. So when the cop goes in, we get a sense of who this person he's going to investigate is. But in Ridley Scott's space, you don't get to have personalities.
No.
Let's say a cop in New York goes into an apartment and there is a lot of, rags and shit and, incense and stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, this is hippie or a new age person. Nothing of that here.
No.
And the only
we get the captain and his accordion. That's it.
Oh yeah, that we get. Yeah.
That's all we get, and I guess she's got a cross, but it doesn't pay off. None of it pays off.
Yeah, and it's the most generic.
I mean, for fuck's sake, David discovers that the ship is controlled through music. And there's no, have the captain discover that. He's the one with the accordion. He has the musical talent. Nothing. Just nothing. No connection. It's just stuff happening because it would look good in the trailer.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. It's going in the fucking script.
Yeah. I mean, the scene where David, poisons Holloway. Is good. That scene is good because there are two characters actually interacting in that. And one has a really sinister motive.
Yes.
And you
that we know about.
Yeah, and you can actually miss it if you're not detail enough. I mean, they kind of emphasis on it, but I know people that miss that. But that is the only scientific work done, basically.
Yeah.
It's oh my god! For a science project, this ship is under.
It's utter chaos.
The ship is under equipped. Do they have a lab?
They have a med bay because
Yeah.
that's where they take the head, I think.
Yeah, because
And then it explodes for some reason.
Yeah,
That's when they find out the DNA is an exact match, which I don't know much about DNA, but I think that's impossible.
I like, yeah, they have a med bay because they have a med bay in the first Alien. Yeah, it's dumb. And
Everyone-
that DNA stuff, it was also something I reacted to because I was like, what?
I like that idea. Swedish Magpie said everyone lies on their CV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess, but because the DNA idea is dumb because that is something they really should have caught when they wrote this
Yeah.
shit. Like, it's an exact match, no, but you can tell that it is probably human.
You can link it like you can
Yeah.
link humans with every other species of animal on the earth.
Yeah, and
We could just do this. Why does it have to be an exact match?
Yeah, they could say it's probably human, but some of it is inconclusive.
Oh, looking at this data, it seems like we share a similar ancestor or something.
Yeah, something like that. Because if you just get DNA from somewhere, let's say blood, and you're like, all right, so we have a DNA string here. Unless you get the exact person that DNA comes from, usually scientists say it is 99.9%
Yeah.
probable that it is, a human. They never say 100%. Scientists never do that because that is dumb. It's
Because there's
stupid.
always a margin for error in this stuff.
Yeah, and if they just find out that it is a chimpanzee, it was like, all right, so it was 99%. No, no, but, yeah, and when she finds out that she has a baby and realizes that shit grows. Humans share about 50% with a banana. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all, actually.
Yeah. I don't like half of the people and I don't like bananas.
You cut off 50% of yourself, you're a banana.
Oh no.
And she finds out that she's pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because David runs a scan on her.
yeah,
And which is a good scene as well. The whole thing is good, where he says, "You're pregnant," and she's like, "I can't be pregnant," and she says, "Let me see it," and he says, "I don't think you should do that."
yeah. Because that is where it goes back to a little bit to body horror and
Yes.
an alien movie.
And then we get the great scene of her going into the weird automated med pod thing, and
Yeah,
she
I
goes
like
up to
that
it, and she's trying to get it to work, but it's like it's calibrated for a man. Specifically a man, which is a hint of what's going to be revealed in literally 5 minutes. I don't know why they foreshadowed that.
Yeah,
And she has to manually input what to do.
Yeah.
There's an unknown entity, foreign body in the torso cut, and like she has to do it manually. And the whole thing is like I remember being in the cinema and just every limb in my body was seizing up, just like, oh no. It was great. I loved it. It was just so horrible.
Yeah.
Because there's the cutting open and then the thing comes out and it's just like, oh, it's so disgusting. And then it pops and all the weird gunk goes straight back into the wound and it's like, oh, that's disgusting. And it was amazing. And I was like, this film's getting good.
yeah. That whole
the
scene
beard
was
comes the fucked up
that whole
stuff.
scene was fucking great, and I love it because it's. I love that. I love that. That is one of the the design elements of Scott's future that is interesting.
Yeah.
The automatic medic.
Yeah.
Because it isn't so far out there.
No.
And yeah, it's that's a good scene and it's nasty.
It's like I affectionately call it Squid Baby.
Yeah.
I love Squid Baby because it's a practical effect.
Yeah,
It's there. If it was CG, that scene wouldn't have worked.
no, it wouldn't.
And like you see a lot of it from her point of view, so you're right there in the pod with her. You know, you're seeing all the shit she's saying, and then to top it off, it starts. She has to get out, but she has to go down underneath it, and it's going fucking berserk. Everything about that scene is tense and horrifying, and it's great.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, that is like, you write this, and you also wrote the rest. What?
Yeah, it doesn't match up.
We say that, Ridley Scott directed it, but John Spaeth and Damon Lindelof wrote it. But I think that scene was basically made great by Ridley Scott, because I don't see them writing it. I mean, that scene is great.
I can't say enough good things about that scene. It is the best scene in the movie.
It is like, it's a really good scene. It's just in the wrong movie. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
If that scene was in a good movie, it would be. I mean, it's still a memorable scene. So when you try to say something good about Prometheus, you usually point to that scene. You point to the cinematography. And you point to the scenes when Fassbender poisons him. Basically, you point to the real human social interactions.
Yes.
Those that feel like real, conversations, real feelings, real.
It's
topics.
The script is such a. When I visualize what the script looks like, I see yellow post-it notes from different days, from different months, and they're all just slapped on a page.
Yeah, because I mean, they are two writers, and Ridley is the director. I feel like the thing with that scene and the other, conversation scenes is that they stand out so much that I think he must have changed it on the fly, because
maybe
seeing what the other guys have written for that movie, it doesn't add up.
No,
at all. And
it's like the guy. I know one of the guys wrote a screenplay, and then the guy from Lost, the Damon Lindelof, he rewrote some of it, I think.
Yeah.
And I think some of the inconsistencies are mainly his fault, because just judging by what he did in Lost.
Yeah, as you said, he wrote Lost. Of course, it's his fault. I mean, we already know that. And if he sees this video at any time, it's not slander.
It's an opinion.
Wait. Oh no. Oh wait, that was John Spaeth. Don't worry. He's writing a Van Helsing movie.
Another one?
Has he already done one?
No, but there was another Van Helsing years ago.
Oh yeah, he wrote Doctor Strange.
He also wrote The Mummy. So.
Oh God, no! He's touching. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! He's writing the next Justice League. Oh, well, the first Justice League sucked ass, and anyway, so whatever. Yeah. So, and then you come. All right. So, should we talk about the rolling donut scene?
Oh.
That the thing that CinemaSins call the Prometheus school of running away from things.
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of CinemaSins, but they've fucking nailed it with that one.
That is kind of the best joke they ever made, and you can use it at home. Whenever you see some dumb shit, like what is that horror movie called with murderous trucks? What is it called? Is it called? Wait, Killer Trucks.
Oh, Christine?
No.
Oh,
no.
Killdozer?
Yeah, I think it's called that. Whatever. It's a B grade horror movie.
Maximum Overdrive?
No.
There's a bunch of them actually.
Maximum Overdrive is not that bad.
No, it's pretty fun.
and it's a Stephen King novel, and so
Yeah.
it's all right. But yeah, anyway, so when you see other movies with things chasing people and they do the same thing,
Yeah.
usually in horror movies I can kind of understand it. So when you see someone run straight away from Jason, it kind of
Yes.
makes sense.
I think scale is important in that.
Yeah,
Like, you see Jason, you think run away from him. He's tall, but he's not that much taller. This is a fucking spaceship, okay?
yeah,
You like, I don't understand. Also, why did that character get the villain death?
yeah.
Like, she did nothing villainous, really. I mean, she killed that guy, but really, he said to do it. Like, he
Yeah.
told her to kill him. So she's not really a villain in the film, but she gets the villain death of being crushed by the object.
Yeah, and like, and that scene is pretty long. So they are changed. They are chased a pretty long time.
Yeah.
By the donut. The reason I call it the
Jesus.
donut is because have you played the horrible shit game Alien Colonial Marines?
No, I haven't.
No,
I got
I-
told I should play it and stream it, and my reaction was, why would I spend my money on that?
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should get it anywhere else, but don't spend money on it.
Yeah.
In that game is so fucking shit, and
Yeah.
not only is it shit, and not only was it marketed with fucking lies all over the fucking place, which is why I owned it until I shot it with a shotgun. My own licensed shotgun, by the way.
Yes.
So I didn't just go out and grab a shotgun. But that game, the reason I shot it is because I can't believe they didn't go to court for the marketing of that game.
Yes.
But
The
there is a place in that game, and this is where I stopped playing it forever, where I don't remember. I think you shoot something, and you have to run, and if you run down the hill, there comes a rolling donut, a big rolling donut that looks really bad with low resolution textures, and I was like, "Fuck this game."
Oh man. She died like Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did. And Numi survives by pure fucking luck, not because
Well,
she's
no-
smart.
No, she falls over and rolls away.
Yeah, that is the worst. That ship cannot be wide, like,
No.
because she can literally roll away from it.
She rolls. Okay, so she falls over. She looks back. She rolls away. I would say barely a meter, and then the woman gets crushed, and then cuts back to her. She is 500 feet away from that thing,
Yeah,
and it's like, what happened?
that scene has a serious scaling problem because
Oh yeah, the topography of that scene is suspicious.
yeah, do a barrel
Do a
roll.
barrel roll.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, that seems so stupid. It didn't even have to be in the fucking movie.
It really didn't.
It gives nothing. Oh yay, we get to see the original alien ship again. Fuck yeah, and then she was, as I say, it has serious scaling problems because in every
Oh, yeah.
shot it feels like it changes size.
Yeah.
And it was like, then they realized that, and they put her 500 feet away just because no one would notice.
No.
We all noticed.
But it's like, that's, I mean, oh, we've skipped over the whole them waking up Waylon, the old guy, who's for some reason he's in jackass makeup. Like,
Oh,
he's like the worst makeup. Did you know, like, before they cast Guy Pearce, it was either going to be Max von Sydow or Rutger Hauer.
all right.
Two infinitely better choices.
I could have gone with Max von Sydow.
Yeah. Well, Max von Sydow's an
or
older
Rutger
guy.
Hauer. Oh, sure, Rutger Hauer, but
They're
I
both
kinda
older
like,
guys.
yeah, and I like
You
Max von
would've-
Sydow. So
You would have saved money on makeup effects.
yeah,
Why did they keep doing that? Why did they keep like artificially aging people up? It's like, I think at this point in cinema we can accept a different actor as an older person. You know,
Yeah,
You-
but isn't it?
It's
Wouldn't
fine.
it, since old man makeup usually look like shit,
Yeah.
isn't it just easier to try to make more likeness on the person? Like if you say you have a young version of that person in the
Yeah.
whole movie, and you take some features from that person and add it on the old person, like if he has a certain nose or something
Yeah.
like that, it's way easy. It must be easier.
It's got to be cheaper.
Yeah, and I mean Max von Sydow would have been perfect. He played that
Yeah.
tree dude in Game of Thrones. Like he
It
was
would have
literally
been.
stuck in a tree,
Yeah.
and he looked really old in that, and he looked really good old. So
Yeah.
yeah, he would have been a good choice.
So yeah, well, they wake up Waylon because he was on the ship the whole time. There's little hints, yeah, whatever. See, his whole deal is he's very, very old and he's dying. So he figures, I don't know why or how. Maybe he looked at their research. It's like these aliens created us. Therefore, that means they can make me live longer.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
we
Where
okay,
did he get that from?
but we don't. Before we left Earth, we didn't know that they created us, but we did. But we didn't. We had no proof of this. She just says so. It's not until they get there and test the DNA that we know. So everything in this film is based on an assumption.
And they just knew they had like Fountain of Youth.
I don't know. It's like, why would you ever think
They
that?
sent this old. How the fuck did he even survive the launch from Earth? Like the
right?
G forces flying out
Yeah.
of Earth would have killed that fucker. I mean, also the ship in Alien is millions years old, but the one in Prometheus are only 2,000 years old. Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I didn't.
I-
I actually. Oh, damn! I missed that because I actually assumed it was million years old.
I think there is like it's a. I'm sure there's a line in Alien where they're like this. They do tests. It's like this thing's like could be millennia or centuries old.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
right.
so the engineers have had these ships for millennia, and they're just kind of the same. They didn't change them.
Wait. 2,000 years. Wait. So they were flying around in those fuckers when we had built the pyramids.
Yeah,
We already existed for several hundred and thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, what? Oh god, this made it worse for me.
I always preferred in Alien. They find this ship, and that ship's probably been there since the dinosaurs. You know that thing
Yeah.
could have been out there for so long. Just we don't know, and it's like you kind of get this idea of maybe there's nothing in the universe because these fuckers killed everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I like the desolate feeling in the first Alien. That's like, all right, this is really old but super advanced.
Yeah,
But
it's
you know,
it's like a ruin, and it's like a living thing. It looks like bone structure. It looks like rib cages.
yeah,
It's alien. But now it's kind of like, no, it's just the ship. That's what they did.
yeah. All right, so
just-
so Elizabeth Shaw survives miraculously on a stupid low amount of oxygen.
Yeah, with a huge C-section scar.
Yeah, with a huge,
That only kind of bothers her sometimes.
yeah. I blame the director for that though, because
Yeah.
that is entirely on them. And she flies off and copies Ripley, but
Oh yeah.
which is stupid because
There's
that
a-
is
there's a lot-
Ripley's thing.
There's a lot of copying Alien in this movie.
Yeah, it is. It's but that last line kind of
Yeah,
bugs me
it's the exact
because-
fucking same.
Yeah, because it's really iconic to Ripley, and in the movie she doesn't fly away. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
say that. She
Oh, she escapes the giant donut by rolling half a centimeter away, and the other woman apparently doesn't realize this.
yeah.
And then she goes into like like an escape pod or something to get like because she's running out of oxygen. And all of a sudden, the engineer that they thought was killed on
wait. The axe fighting scene first. She's
Yeah.
running out of oxygen, and she gets into a fight, and that drastically drops, the amount of minutes she has oxygen.
Yes, she's
She
running
still
around.
makes it.
Well, she goes from almost being crushed to running out of oxygen to running to the life pod, and I think when she gets in there, I think she does something with her oxygen.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure; it's really unclear.
yeah,
But the life pod is where the medical pod was, and
yeah.
obviously the squid baby is still in there, and so she picks up an axe. Now, the design on this axe is so fucking weird that it boggles my mind why anyone would ever think that worked.
Wait. I'm gonna Google it. Prometheus axe. Oh my god.
What is that? What is that angle?
You can't even. Do you even get, force with that?
That's the thing. If you even swung that into something like wood, you're not getting that back out.
Now, first of all, you're not getting that back out, but the axe is bent.
Yeah,
Like, the force you put into it, it's gonna dissipate into this bent shaft.
if you
and then,
click on like the photo of the character in the movie, I think it's like even worse than that prop.
all right, this one, yeah, this looks cool, but it's useless. Let's see. Oh, look, there's a pixelated version of it, and that looks 3 million times better.
What is with the angles?
What?
Like, what?
What is this part used for? There's, do you know that in regular access it's a spike?
Yeah, I don't know what that is actually. It looks like a pry bar, like the end of a pry bar.
Yeah, but why the handle of the axe is bent so you can't pry?
No, that's not how. Okay, the problem with this axe is that's not how leverage works.
Yeah, exactly. That's not,
you
if
managed
it
to
no,
swing.
if the handle was bent the other way,
Yes,
it would give a better swing. It wouldn't be, it wouldn't be as good as, real access, but it would be a better functional design than this, because you would get, a longer swing with it.
exactly. All I can think of is because I've had to cut down trees and wood in my time. All I can think of is throwing that into a log that you're not getting it out. There is no way to leverage that thing out of the wood or whatever material you've just thrown it at.
No, so and it's not efficient as a fire axe because you don't have
Nope.
the spike, so you can't use that to, penetrate.
The worst thing is, she picks that up and wanders around. Then the engineer shows up and she immediately drops it. She doesn't even swing the thing. She immediately just drops it.
One thing I just thought of, now we're speaking of the axe, the only weapon they brought was a flamethrower.
I forgot about that, and it's a good point you brought that up. Why the fuck would you bring a flamethrower with you?
Yeah, why no assault rifles?
They
or
do have.
shotguns?
I think one person actually does have a shotgun.
Yeah, all right.
In the scene where the mutated guy comes back on his big head,
Yeah,
they shoot him with that. But why would you take a flamethrower to an alien planet?
because we don't even use flamethrowers.
No,
Like,
because
we stopped using it.
they're incredibly dangerous to carry around and unreliable as hell.
We stopped using them not only because let's face it, soldiers are expendable, but because they're ineffective as fuck.
That's another thing is, how do you know fire is going to affect anything you encounter? It's an alien planet. How do you know fire is even gonna be able to function the way it does on our planet on an alien planet?
Yeah, because they're not in the cave when they use it. They're
No,
by
they're
the ship.
out. Yeah,
This is made.
I
What is
think
wrong? What is wrong with assault rifles? I know
don't
America
know.
is full of them, so why didn't the ship have any? Oh God!
I think they do, but for some reason the flamethrower looks better on film. I don't know. It's like the only reason I can think that it's in the film is because it was an aliens and the thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason it's there.
and it's kind of it's kind of drags out the scene with agony just because they have to barbecue
Yeah,
their
what?
friend.
Yeah, what a great way to mercy kill someone.
Why not just?
I'll put you out of your misery in about 5 minutes. You're slowly gonna roast.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a useless weapon. Why do you have that? Like,
It's so like this is why Dead Space works. You know, they
yeah,
aren't weapons; they're tools. They're just used, and it's like
yeah. Isaac just modifies them to, dissipate energy in a higher rate.
exactly. It's
It,
like I'm okay with that. It's an
yeah.
industrial ship. That makes sense for the setting,
Yeah,
but a scientific crew wouldn't carry around a fucking flamethrower.
Yeah, because in the beginning, the plasma cutter you got in Dead Space is, as strong as you would suggest a plasma cutter is. The only fault
Yeah.
is that it doesn't cut through walls, but that would, take time for plasma.
Uh-huh.
But we have plasma cutters at work, so yeah, it
Yeah.
takes some time, but it would do that. But it's more, understandable that you get out pulses of plasma, and that you can, upgrade that energy power
Yeah.
in a tool, like trim it, like you trim a car or something like that. I mean, I can believe that. I can't believe that you go to another fucking solar system without a gun.
No, they have guns.
Oh yeah,
They definitely have guns because they were shooting it, but they use the flamethrower first, which is really confusing.
okay.
Like it's the first weapon you see in the entire film.
Yeah, but when they go into the cave,
Yeah.
I have to guess they are unarmed.
Because when they're setting out to leave Prometheus to go down to the surface, they make a point to point out the flamethrower and says, "Why do you need that?" And it's like, "We don't know what's going to be out there, and we might get resistance." It's like
yeah,
a flamethrower, really?
yeah,
Like
but the flamethrower isn't.
it's like I understand taking a weapon to protect yourself.
Yeah.
A flamethrower is not that weapon.
Let's say, oh, God, my head hurts now. But let's say,
Yeah.
let's say you go to an alien planet and you go into this fucking cave. And just think about the headless snake that comes up out of the pond, and you realize, oh shit, he's gonna attack my friend, and you launch a flamethrower. You're gonna get your friend. Like you could save your friend.
You have no idea what's in that atmosphere. You shoot that flamethrower, the entire place could ignite. There could be any kind of gas in there. They don't do any checks. For all you know, that black shit is flammable. It's like,
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
yeah.
It's such a dangerous thing to carry around on a place that you have no information about.
I mean, I can build a flamethrower for fun, but I
Yeah.
would never have it, for defense.
It's not a defense weapon.
If
I think it's purely for offense, like psychologically as well as physically.
if I was a farmer and I had a field, if I was the same person I am now, I would build a flamethrower when I had to burn the field, just because it's
Yeah.
fucking fun. But that's it. Like, I wouldn't have it, by my door as home protection. Someone breaks into your door, you shoot the flamethrower and set the house on fire. Great.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's either way, they are underarmed, and I always wonder, why are there no Marines with you? Like,
No, I think there is, because when we were watching this, when Waylon wakes up, there's all of a sudden 3 men we've never seen in the movie before suddenly
yeah,
just
there-
appear.
That's why
And
that's
they're dressed in black, so I think they're maybe his security. But then where were they? Were they cuddling up in the pod with him?
yeah, they were. They were having some fun time.
Oh, I bet. That's why David had the dream machine. He wanted to look in on this shit.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I mean, if you send a scientific team somewhere, let's say you send them into the Amazonas. We say you're gonna do some archaeological work at one of the Incan temples.
Uh-huh.
That is in the middle of the jungle, literally in the middle of the jungle. you may not have Marines, but you have armed guards.
Yeah.
Like people with guns to shoot, whatever big fucking cat runs out of the jungle and murders you. And like, and they are, no. And half of the crew doesn't even know where they're going. So,
Yeah.
at least in Aliens, it was for the Vietnam War aesthetic. Yeah, I mean, but that movie makes it a little bit more sense because they send the Marines like for purpose.
Yeah,
and
they're Marines. It's like it's action orientated, so you can understand. Like, Hicks has a fucking shotgun. That is an outdated piece of weaponry.
And in the first Alien, I think they have weapons because they, have to protect themselves from.
I think they have. Did they have a flamethrower in Alien?
No.
Can't remember now.
Not in the first Alien. That's the second Alien. She has one, right?
They have some sort of weapon. I can't remember what it was.
But I
No, they do. They do have a flamethrower because they send Dallas into the ductwork or the vents, and he's using it to light it up.
Yeah. All right. But that is in the 80s. So
also that's an industrial vehicle.
Yeah.
You can kind of swing that.
Yeah, and I think they briefly. I think they briefly mention something like. I think the ship is armed in case bandits or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, pirates.
I don't know how that space works, but I guess they have some kind of weaponry, like they do. But they never get to use it because they don't have time to react. Really.
No, I would personally never take a flamethrower on board a spaceship because that's going to eat up your oxygen.
Yeah.
And you get that anywhere near pure oxygen, that entire ship is gone.
Yeah, because if we tie in Alien Isolation here, which is a far better movie than Prometheus.
It's a far better sequel. It's like
the
best sequel since Aliens.
You get the flamethrower in that just because of a cameo, basically. It's Yeah, it is in the end of the game, and you can use it on the alien. It makes you, able to win the game. But it's also just there because, it's Alien.
It's a video game.
Yeah. But the rest of the game, you have guns and wrenches, and you make stuff, Yeah, you make shit up.
Because your character's an engineer.
Yeah. And
she can put that shit together, so it makes, oh, they had an improvised flamethrower made with parts.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's fair enough then.
Yeah, and then like in Alien Isolation, you get this flamethrower because you're gonna go down to what you suspect is the nest and just burn it all up. But the space station is still fucked anyway, so you're just gonna do it to give back and then run to the pod and escape. And then the game drags on a little bit too long, but yeah, that makes sense. In Prometheus, a flamethrower doesn't make sense. There's no way. There's no way. And Prometheus sucks. She flies away, and you're like sit there and all right, this movie was beautiful. 5 days later, you wake up with a hangover, and it's like, what the fuck? And then we go.
That's exactly what it was.
And then we go to Alien Covenant.
Oh, fuck.
I had hopes for this movie, mostly because it was named Alien. I thought, maybe they knew that Prometheus was garbage. And after I watched it, I realized, no, they didn't think Prometheus was garbage. They just got mad at us for thinking it was garbage.
That's exactly what I said.
So they tried to make us happy, but also confusing the story even more. Like, all right, so Alien Covenant, people fly away on an expedition. Weird, huh? No, they're going to colonize a set of planets far out in space, and they are set on that mission, but wake up by a distress signal from, you guessed it, the donut. And then, well, it begins with their actual captain burning to death for some reason.
Yeah. How does he burn up?
He burns up in a pod.
Yeah, how?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, I thought they were frozen in there.
That's exactly.
What are they, like?
Why does the pod have anything ever that would make that situation possible?
Like, I don't know, because like it seems like a really faulty system that can catch on fire. Like
Yeah.
you are in this future, right? That have, if you go down to the bridge and look at the panels, it's like all of these buttons and all of these warning signals, and like they can fucking blow a hole in the hull and you're still safe, because the ship shields it
Yeah.
off. But the pods don't have any warning signals that
No.
something is wrong. Like, because I was thinking that was what the androids are for, right?
Yeah.
That's why they have them there, because they don't have to sleep, so they can, attend to emergencies with the pod. And we find out that the android they have with them is not a crank, so he would have fixed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If why is the life support the only thing without a warning signal where something is wrong? My car has better better signals for that.
Why would you ever conceivably design anything that is supposed to keep someone safe over many years of travel? Why would you make it any kind of no fail safes to prevent anything like that from happening? Not that that should happen anyway. Like, it just ignites out of nothing.
Yeah, because
And as any person knows, is you can't ignite something without a fuel source
yeah, because,
and a spark.
yeah, and I was thinking about gasoline pumps, how they have a way that if the gases or something, let's say some dumb fuck decides to light up while he's fueling his car, and when he takes that out, there are gonna be a couple of fumes, and let's say they get fire, the pump has a system that closes off the tank, so the fire doesn't get anywhere. In Covenant, they don't have that kind of system. I'm gonna
Nope.
check up what it's called in English. The fun with talking in another language than your own. Check wall, clack wall,
Oh, right.
return wall,
Uh-huh.
reflux wall. Fuck many words you had for that. We have one. Bakventil.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it closes off. Most system that has compressed air or
Yes.
any kind of gases that have potential of catching fire has that.
Yes.
So they are using a gas in these pods that is flammable, and they don't have that kind of, I don't know. Right,
There's just no safety features at all.
Yeah, the thing was, when I saw the movie, I kind of forgot that scene.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, so, and they had this scene when they shows a new captain. Well, he is captain because he's the one in the line.
Yeah.
And and then you have this bonding scene where everyone is sad.
Yeah.
And you think you're gonna get to know the people on the ship, and then the captain is an asshole and says no, you can't grieve that, fuck you, and then they go out to a secret room and drink booze secretly.
Yeah.
And that's our introduction to the characters.
Yeah. But like Muddy just said in the chat, is the only reason that death is so violent is so they have an excuse not to get back into the pods and continue to the planet they were supposed to go to. That's the only reason that death is so violent. It's just so they can go, well, we're not getting back in the pods, we just seen what happened. So there's a contrived reason for them to go down onto this planet that they found the signal from.
It's a dumb fuck. All right. Now that you said it, Muddy, I don't know what to say. I can come up with 3 million reasons to go down to that planet.
Oh yeah.
without being scared of your fucking pods. God
We
damn
we
it.
we came up with one while watching the movie. They have an accident where they get hit by solar radiation. The ship life support gets damaged. They have to go down on the planet or they die.
All right, but isn't this God? This isn't the same planet as Prometheus.
No.
Because they fly away in the end, and magically David does too. I don't care, but I don't care. I don't know how he got there, but it's not the same planet. But
No.
there should be, escape pods or
Yes.
shuttles. The, why didn't they get? Let's say they go there and the ship stops their hyper jump because they get a distress signal from a human escape pod,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Shit, there's humans there, and it's from an escape pod." And look how easy that was. Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
they
could
could-
just said the ship was. I mean, yeah, but I mean, if they wanted to really have some, you know,
Well, that's the other thing. They've found a human signal. Like we have to go down. If there's a person down there, we have to help them. There's another excuse to go down. But the contrived,
the first it's like
the contrived idea that
they wrote
that
the first
it's-
scene. They wrote the first scene, and while they were filming, they were like, "Shit, that's dumb." Add a scene. So I'm like, no, but yeah. So they're kind of doubling down on the reason to go
Yeah.
down, so they can't, deny going down. So you. I still think the reasonable thing should have been to just follow orders. Fuck that, by the way. So they decide to go down, and there is some kind of ion storm.
yeah.
Because of course there is. So
Well, they
this-
decide to
this-
go down in the middle of a storm instead of, I don't know, weighing it out.
yeah, I mean they are used to space travel, right? And that space travel takes time. It's like when NASA shoots up, rockets or satellites. They have a very narrow window to go by, and
Yeah.
they can wait.
They could have just sat in orbit and just monitored it.
And by
And
the
the best
way,
part,
is this ion storm over the whole fucking planet?
that's exactly it. Why can't you just go to the other side of the planet and then maybe use a dropshift, fly low?
Yeah, because
something.
Then they wouldn't land in the right place, I guess. Yeah, it would have been better. Actually, it would have been better for the story if that iron storm was there, so they couldn't go down there, but they went down on the other side of the planet, and that's where the shit goes down.
Yeah.
Like, because it was, accidental, kind of.
Yeah, anything at this point, because none of what actually
Alright.
happens makes sense.
So they go down, and they want to recreate the scene from the first Alien when they send down, the car, but not really. So they send down their shuttle, and they land.
Yeah. A little bit of Aliens too, with
Yeah.
them going through the storm, like they're all strapped in.
Yeah, and then they land, and they open the ship and they go out, and no one is wearing masks. And
Nope.
when they stood there, it's tall grass and shit. I was like, is this Jurassic Park 4?
Because
Because I was like, I can't wait for those raptors.
That's exactly what I said later on in the film when they get attacked. I was like, oh, this is the Lost World, and they get attacked in the tall
Yeah.
grass.
Because they go out armed. They're armed in this.
Yeah.
They go out with weapons. Amazing. And the weapons, they look like regular rifles, sort of a little bit more modern sci-fi. So I was really thinking this looks like a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be at least a couple of scenes of Jurassic Park in it, with an albino raptor that is really small and really aggressive. And while I like that fighting scene,
Yeah.
sort of, I don't know, because I don't think we see that small one again.
There's one later on, but it dies just as quickly.
Yeah, because they seem really fucking dangerous.
Yeah, they should have been the main focus of the film, but the film doesn't know what to focus on.
Yeah, because they
So
see that
he-
one, and David sacrifices his arm because he's an android. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
To
I'm
say
just
that.
gonna say, like, they land down on this planet, and yeah, like you said, they're not wearing helmets. They land their shuttle right next to a river, like
Yeah,
on the stones,
yeah,
on a riverbank,
yeah,
in the middle of a storm.
yeah,
The fuck is wrong with these people? I thought they were colonists. They
yeah,
they they go down to a planet in the middle of an iron storm. They don't send any probes down to do any tests to see if the atmosphere is fucking breathable. They land next to a river during a storm where God only knows if a flash flood might fucking happen. Not to mention a stony base in a river or valley is very, very unstable. That could give way any second. And they've
yeah,
no excuse. There's no excuse to say there was nowhere else to land because there's literally a mile of walking.
yeah. There's a lot of unpacking here. The first thing I thought of when it comes to technology of these movies is when I said it, as you said, they didn't do any tests or anything, and I was thinking that we can from Earth here uh, calculate contents of atmospheres on other planets. We we send, we have satellites going over there and analyzing planets, and we get data back and says like, yeah, you can't breathe here, it's fucking acid, like Venus, and we can do that today. So I was thinking like, if they come with a colonizer ship,
Yeah,
wouldn't they have like scanners like in Star Wars?
you would be prepared to
Like
check
like
the planet.
scan this planet, check temperatures and oxygen levels, stuff
Yeah,
like that. Wouldn't they have that? I
they
mean,
would have that.
it feels like if we could put that on our space shuttles that we have today, we would do it, but it would be too heavy. So we send
Yeah,
satellites before to scout. But their ship is big as fucking Denmark, and
yeah.
they don't. Are you telling me they don't have that? How the fuck do they fly around in space without any kind of scanning advice? Are they just using their eyes when they fly around?
That's what it seems like. Because I mean, like you said before, there's a storm one part of the planet. They just go down to it. They don't wait around. They don't go to another part of the planet. It's I mean, if they went there, they would see an iron storm. It's like, okay, the signal's down there, but it's in the middle of a storm. Let's sit here. Let's do some calculations. Let's test the atmosphere, and then because we're not in any kind of emergency, are we? No one's dying. Everyone who's dying is dead.
And
There's literally nothing stopping them.
and the mission deadline is still many years off, so
Yeah,
a day or two. But the ship warns them to go down, and here's where it gets weird, because the ship warns them to go down. It measures up wind speeds, it measures up density of the fucking storm. Uh, but why is the computer in not giving them a spreadsheet on display about everything about this planet? Like, it should be able to do that, right?
yeah,
Because the ship is automatic otherwise. So that when they lie in the pods, the ship fly around in space. And I
yeah.
would argue that the ship would have some kind of scanning advice to see fucking danger. Because if you
Well,
calculate the route in, I don't remember how long they were supposed to fly, 50 years or something.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. So if you calculate a route in space for 50 years, and you gotta fly that without scanners to detect things, like, you're playing with fire. Because yeah, we can calculate the things we can see from Earth. What about the things we can't see?
yeah. You need stuff that. Well, it sets up the fact that the ship can scan because it the entire reason the alarms go off is because it detects some sort of solar flare
Yeah, the damage
in the first place, and that's what causes the damage to happen. So it's like, why the fuck can't they scan the planet?
Yeah, because those sails the ship has give is like solar fuel.
Yeah,
or something like that, and that's why they had to fix it. So they get a warning when that happens, but they get a warning when it already, like they get a warning when it's about to happen. It's
Yeah, which is weird because solar flares need to travel through space.
or are they just next to a star?
It, you don't get that close to stars, from my reckoning.
I don't know how long does it take from the sun's rays to reach Earth? Is it
8 minutes.
8 minutes? Yeah, you had 8 minutes to tell them that.
Yeah,
"Alright, we're gonna get
you
hit."
would probably more.
Yeah, probably more because they're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and just like, yeah, you have 8+ minutes to tell them. All right, guys, you gotta get hit, but no, it's like, boom! Oh shit, we got hit. What hit us? And then the
What a
computer's
surprise.
like, yeah, our power supply is fucked. One of the sails is.
Surely we
unhinged."
would have saw this coming because we're in space, and that's the kind of stuff you have to deal with in space.
Solar flares is kind of lame compared to the rest of the shit in space. And
Oh yeah,
and
I don't think solar flares affect stuff that way. I think it's just radiation, isn't it?
yeah, it is because it wouldn't destroy Earth. It would.
But it physically affects the ship.
Yeah. But
I don't know what it
right,
was.
so first off, the sail they have on this, I don't know what it cost, $3 billion colonizing spaceship is basically sitting there with hooks. That's great. And well, that breaks, and that whole scene is dumb. Like,
They cut. It was so expensive they had to cut corners somewhere.
yeah, the shit was too expensive. The whole mission was too expensive. So just put it up like a regular, sailboat, and
Yeah, it's attached with a wire. Don't worry about the life pods. They don't need safety features. Whatever.
yeah, and then they give like false action when they're going to repair it, and
Yeah,
it's kind of stupid.
they repair it really easy as well. They literally just hook it back on. It's like a curtain came off.
Yeah,
It's so ridiculous. It's supposed to be this tense scene where, like, normally you'd write that as a tense scene,
yeah.
but it's just literally, I'll just put it back on the peg.
You know when NASA has these live feeds from the ISS, and
Yeah.
astronauts has these work days when they have to go out and do repairs because the space
Yeah,
station
they do the spacewalks.
Yeah, the space station is getting hit by a lot of shit, so they have to fix a lot
Yeah.
of shit. Those spacewalks, first of all, they're real dangerous.
Oh,
Second of
boy.
second of all, they take their fucking time. There's
Yeah.
no like, and third of all, everything on the space station is really well built. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
some golden paper that sits there. All right, so that's done. So they go down to the planet. There is
Yep.
a Jurassic Park scene.
Yep.
They kill that thing. No, yeah.
Well, they go down.
Fassbender.
Well, they go down without helmets.
Yeah.
For one, they wander around and they find fungus-looking things. Like, one of them accidentally treads on one and it releases spores, and it goes into his ear. Another guy just puts his face right up next to it and smells the fucking thing. I don't know. Have you? I'll tell you. When I first came up, when I was a kid, and I was in the woods, and I found one of the, I forget what fungus it is, but it's like a small ball,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it releases.
the
spores.
you could puff like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
puff something.
Yeah, we call them smoke shrooms.
Yeah, but when I saw that and it went off, my immediate reaction was to back the fuck off.
Yeah, it's
Like, not even oh, I should back off. No, my body did it on its own.
yeah, it was like when we were helping a friend to move, and he had his old fast food box with food, and my
Yeah.
friend picked it up and accidentally squished it, and something black like puffed out,
Oh,
and everyone just dived into the living room except
Yeah.
for him because he was terrified, and like he was like, "What the fuck?" And after that incident, we kind of made a joke that the friend we helped moved shortened his life probably with 15 years or something. That's
oh yeah.
you're responsible if he dies at 50. No, but yeah, so they do that shit and sniff it for some reason.
Yeah.
One thing I always wonder with both Prometheus and this movie is that the clunky scanners they use in the other Alien movies to track movement,
Yeah.
like the one you have in Isolation.
Yeah.
Regular trackers. They exist today. So I was like, why isn't anyone equipped with anything that can just scan off the area? Because if you go down to an alien planet and you want to know if there is a predator
Yeah.
lying around trying to eat you or something, I know they don't scare the air, but at least scan the ground for velociraptors or
Anything.
albino dwarf xenomorphs that
They even have a little robotic rover that comes out, but it doesn't do anything. It just sits there on
they have
on the
Mars
shore.
rover, right?
It's on the shoreline. Why wouldn't you send that out to take some scans? Maybe all kinds of scans, visual, audio, chemical, all the scans before we go out.
What they do is basically if NASA has sent astronauts to Mars, and then after that send a rover. Like first we send the astronauts, they die off, and then we're like, all right, let's send a rover instead.
These guys are NASA. If NASA's prime directive was fuck it.
Well, the sniff the black dust in this movie. It's dust or mosquitoes. I was unsure. I was like, is it bugs? Is it dust? I don't know. Is it
spore particles?
And at one point I was like, is it nanobots? Like the ones that rebuild Jason in Jason X. Is it like this? Something like that? I don't know. It seems intelligent. So yeah, you had that guy. You had that scene with the guy that takes a smoke.
They're smoking on an alien planet.
Yeah, they find something that the actual scientists want to take some tests, and
off the water or something.
Yeah, he's gonna guard her, and then he's like, "I'm gonna go take a piss," but then he smokes.
I'm good. Yeah, he lights a cigarette on an alien planet, and then he goes to take a piss on an alien planet.
And then he takes.
You don't go to certain parts of the world to take a piss. No. There are fish that will swim up your dick.
Yeah, yeah, and all right. So let's say, but he didn't even take a piss, right? Because
he didn't.
He just smokes a cigarette. He takes 2 whiffs of that fucker, and he just throws it down on the ground.
He immediately throws it down in a heavily wooded area.
And I was like, man, I was a smoker. You have been on a spaceship for 15 years. You gotta drag that fucker. Yeah, that's stupid.
He's not gonna waste that.
And I kind of like her, the character of her, this scientist girl. I don't remember any names from this movie.
Nope.
So, because none of the characters matters.
They're not the main characters.
Exactly. So
it's David and Walter are the main characters.
Yeah, and the only character I liked was the scientist girl, because she actually had personality. She was like, I am going to take this test. That's like my duty. Because we haven't been here before, and we can bring it to our new colony and research it there, and stuff like that. And I felt like you are the only one that act like a human here, like in your profession. And the rest of the idiots, I don't know.
They just kind of wander around. Yeah. Oh no, they find the ship from Prometheus.
Yeah, they find the donut.
And they find the photo of Shaw and the guy, and they find dog tags which were never in Prometheus.
Yeah. Isn't it the donut ship they find?
Yeah, it's the donut ship.
Yeah, how did
it's like embedded in a mountain. It's covered in moss. It's been there for a long time.
Yeah, but Shaw didn't fly away in donut.
Did she not? I thought she did. It was like a different one.
Yeah, no. It's my fault. Yeah, she does. By the way, yeah, she does. Okay, right. So they find that and the dog tags that didn't exist in the previous movie, and this is on the artificial stairs into this thing that go up, that they sniff the black mushrooms
They get infected in various places, and then one of the guys starts coughing and like generally being ill, so they take him back to the thing. And then there's the whole scene in the medical bay with the back burster because it's so original. We had a chest burster, now we have a back burster because creativity.
All right, all right. We started off talking about Prometheus with what was good with Prometheus, and I'm gonna say that the thing I find good with Covenant is that it's gory, because it gives
Yeah.
at least something. It's bloody as fuck.
The guy gets a fucking jaw knocked off.
Yeah, and like I gotta get it out because that gave me some hope. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is the first Alien movie that is actually fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Because the other movies were like off-screen deaths mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
You had the tongue death, but that looks just like it looks in 1979.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, maybe this is something because the Jurassic Park scene is kind of gory too with everything there, and it's actually blood and stuff in it. And I was like,
there's the I think they're called neomorphs, the white ones. It like uses its tail as a whip and just cuts someone's jaw off, like it's just gone. And the other guy who gets infected, the neomorph doesn't come out of his back; it comes out of his mouth, and it's very clearly a prosthetic. It's like a dummy, and it's just erupts from his mouth, and that's great.
Yeah, I
I really like that.
I hate. Why have Google removed view this picture? Fuck.
Oh fuck yeah, that's really been bugging me.
Wait, I'm gonna open this up. All right, so I opened up someone made this. This is the. All right, it still captures that. Wait, I'm gonna capture this instead. There we go. So this is the evolution of the xenomorph. According to this person, this is after Covenant, I think, because I think, here it is. The dwarven one isn't in here.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't figure out where the fuck to put it, basically. So here you have the Diacon. We see the Diacon in the end of Prometheus. The one that screams.
The trilobite. I love Ridley Scott talking about the trilobite or whoever it was. Like, it's not a facehugger. It's a new alien. It does exactly the same thing a facehugger does and has the exact same look of a facehugger, but it's not a facehugger.
Yeah, I always thought that it was an early evolution stage.
It's
like the facehugger is the perfected evolution.
Yeah, this is like a weird. Like, but does that mean that the black goo, its ultimate goal or programming is to create the xenomorph?
I'm linking this picture in chat now so everyone can open it if you want to look at it, because in case it's difficult to see on my.
I disagree with that Deacon alien variant, presumably evolving into the alien queen.
Yeah, all right. So this is just what someone tried to make sense of it,
which was a pointless endeavor.
Yeah, I know, but I don't agree with this either. But it's like, because look how he excluded the dwarf albino one, because it doesn't fit.
No, because I guess it's supposed to be David's own version. He created it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the dwarf. You have the larger white ones too, right?
They they grew up. They like the xenomorph chest bursters. They get larger.
Oh right, yeah, they grow up. So it's basically the dwarven one grows up to a bigger one, because we see a bigger one later in the movie.
Yeah.
Sadly, we don't see the scene when he rips her head off. But
no, why did they cut away from that?
Yeah, why did they do that?
Also, heads don't float.
Oh God, no, they don't.
They don't float. They're too heavy to float. Stop doing this.
But
But
still, I would have enjoyed actually seeing a head rip scene, because
yes,
scenes like that is what makes movies great. It's like the best scene in what is it called? Mall. What's it called? Mall cops. I think it's called. When they have. It's an 80s horror movie where they have robots that guards the mall.
oh, chopping mall.
Yeah, a shopping mall. Yes, and they had that scene when the blow
Yeah,
his
the
head
head
off,
blast.
her head off, and I was like, those scenes I live for, because as
Yeah.
soon as a head explodes, it's funny.
That's exactly
Well,
what I said last night. When they were getting infected with the spores or whatever, I said I want one of them to get into their head. Like it went to his ear, but it came out his back. I wanted it to stay in his head, and then we get a scanner's head explosion.
yeah, I really hate that some people are like, it's got to connect. We can presume there are different strains like the T-virus. Yeah, we can do that. I absolutely agree. But the problem with Covenant is that it kind of what is it? It kind of breaks the chain of it. It cuts out the egg part. I mean, the eggs are there,
Yeah, there's just eggs.
but I mean, this is a problem I have had with aliens or Alien or the Xenomorph from the beginning. Really, is that you have the face huggers, and you
Yeah.
have the big aliens, and in the I mean, that is basically what James Cameron solved with the Queen.
Yeah.
Because if an alien grows up, okay, so now there is an alien.
hmm
How does that one reproduce? It just eats people.
Well, I went along with the kind of James Cameron view of the aliens being a hive structure, and it's based off of ants and bees.
Yeah,
And if a queen bee dies, one of the bees will consume raw jelly and become the new bee.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
like
I get.
it's like animals changing sex
Yeah, I know, but
in environment, you know.
but I understand the whole circle of life thing when the Queen is there.
Yeah.
But without it, like Ridley Scott wants, it doesn't make sense because
No.
it can't reproduce, right? Because then
Exactly.
because they need the face huggers, and then the face hugger dies, so it can
Yeah.
continue to spread whatever it's spreading. It's a one-time thing, and then that one alien grows up, and then that alien kills everyone on the ship, and then there is no queen, which is why in the first movie there is only one alien. But if you think of it, since Ridley Scott didn't like the alien queen, how would the species survive? Like
Exactly. Because it's not supposed to survive. It's a weapon. It's simply there to
Yeah.
destroy an ecosystem of a planet. Which is what makes Alien Covenant very confusing, because David's whole fucking motivation for doing these experiments is to create life. But the xenomorphs aren't life.
no,
They don't create in turn. They only destroy stuff.
yeah, because they don't have. Yeah, they can create. The face huggers can create. So basically, the logical move here is making a face hugger that makes more face huggers through killing things
Yeah.
and making more. All right. So the xenomorph. Someone argues that we never see a real xenomorph in the movie, and we see David's variant of it.
I guess.
But I think that's mostly just because it has another move set than the regular ones.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, the scene when Michael Fassbender learns Michael Fassbender to play the flute, I kind of like
Yeah.
that scene. But
All those scenes are great.
yeah, it's great acting, it's great writing. But it's like,
Any scene between those two really stands out, and it feels like it's from a different movie altogether.
yeah, you know, it's the first time in a movie that we actually get actual, you know, human, you know, connection, and it's with two
Yeah,
fucking
between two.
androids.
Yeah, and that scene really cements the fact that David loves his whole thing is possibly creation, to create something that in turn can create something else. When he finds out Walter cannot create, it upsets him.
Yeah, because we robbed them of that,
Exactly.
because we know
So
because we knew it was dangerous.
so why make the xenomorphs? Because they cannot create. They don't breed and advance. They breed, destroy everything, then die out, presumably.
because they can't reproduce in Ridley Scott's version of it, because
No.
David didn't create the Queen, unless he does that in the next movie.
Well, I remember just before Covenant came out, one of the theories of what happened to Elizabeth Shaw was David makes her into an alien queen, or does something with her body to create the eggs, you know?
Yeah, because she couldn't create,
Which
so
which would have been a great setup, because Prometheus already set up the point that she was able to create something.
yeah, but not humans. She could create aliens.
Yeah, she created
She
a
barbs
facehugger.
she barbs out the trilobite, like fuck. And yeah, and like they make this whole point, and then they make that David makes aliens, which I was like, okay, with what tools? Whatever.
Exactly.
Skip that part. Fuck
Uh-huh.
it. And then it was like, all right, so he makes aliens. What confuses me, well, after the movie, was that doesn't David go to planet of creators and just kill them off?
Yeah,
What is
Oh,
that scene?
he arrives on the planet in the donut ship. They're all like, "Oh, look, it's a ship, one of our ships. Let's all gather around." And then he drops all of the black goo on them for some reason.
But it's not the goo; it's the mosquito stuff
Yeah,
that
it's
wasn't in Prometheus. Did he
No.
make that on the ship on the way? He was like, "All right, so I have black goo. Let's
not
dry
by
it
the
up.
looks of it.
Let's dry it
because
up. Let's dry it up, chop it up, and just
Yeah.
fucking air bomb it."
But that's the weird thing, is it seems to, when it drops from the ship, it seems to have purpose and direction on its own.
It attacks.
Yeah.
I mean, that was what I got from that scene. I mean, it could
It
be.
wasn't a gas descending; it was a living organism attacking,
Yeah, and
like
also, I was
like a virus.
after I saw Covenant, because we can brush through the movie really quickly.
Yeah.
They find David in the city of the dead, basically,
Yeah.
and he has been experimenting on shit, and he creates the xenomorph. Boom.
He creates eggs, and
yeah.
then facehuggers, and then the xenomorph.
He creates things, and every evolution part, every experiment that he successfully creates, he has released in the wild. So
Yeah.
he doesn't control his own experiment.
No.
It's like, all right, I created this white shit, this white alien. Yeah, let's just kick it out in the wild, whatever. and that is kind of the point of the movie, that he creates that, and the two androids clashes because one android is actually, you know, programmed to stand up for humanity, and the other
Yeah.
one is a crook. The first android, as you know, David, is
Yeah.
programmed by Wayland to actually betray humans. That's why they send him with Prometheus.
Possibly.
I guess.
It's really unclear.
Or
I mean,
is he learning that? I think he has the ability to learn. I think he mentions that.
yes, I think that was it. Yeah, the ability to learn and therefore create.
Yeah, that is dumb to give the robots. Like,
It's just
really dumb.
It's such a fucking mess. It's unbelievable.
I do like the imaginary ruined city with the masses of corpses that look like statues, but the characters. Yeah, when I saw that scene, I was like, "Is this Dark Souls?"
I thought that it's New Londo.
Yeah, it's new. I mean, like, yeah, it looked.
It's New Londo or Yahar Ghul.
Yeah, or random place in Bloodborne, I guess.
Yeah, Yar Har Ghul with all the corpses that are in the walls.
yeah, that isn't Bloodborne. Sorry. So why does he kill the engineers? I guess he kills them because wouldn't he want to talk to the engineers?
You would think he would, if he would just talk to them, he would learn more about what the black goo can do or any other technology they have.
Because they would realize that he's not human.
Yeah,
I guess. The ones we see on screen kind of look like Monty Python peasants.
they
Like,
do.
like the peasants in the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Come on, Dennis.
You know those?
Yes.
It kind of looked like that. And I was like, all right, so they stare up at this ship like they've never seen one before.
Yeah. But they clearly have, because they have a whole fucking device that leads it in and docks it.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this people is weird. Engineers are weird. And he kills an entire civilization off. First
He
off,
wipes out all life on a planet.
yeah, on that planet. First off, I already thought the engineers was extinct.
Yeah.
I thought they were already extinct. So they could have made this movie without that scene.
Alien should have been Roadside Picnic. You find the glimpses of a civilization,
Yeah.
but it's gone. We know nothing about it, but they had to explain it all, I guess.
Yeah, because I get in Prometheus, because if they weren't extinct, why didn't they send a rescue team, like the engineers sending rescue teams to the place where where Prometheus took place?
Yeah.
Do they just send out ships and then like, yeah, you're on your own, bitch?
Well, it's really clear when you look at the planet that Prometheus is set on. It was a weapons test or storage facility.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they were experimenting on the planet with the black goo, or maybe that was the storage, because the black goo is so dangerous. You don't want that anywhere near anything living.
Yeah, it's like a nuclear test site, basically.
Yeah, it's like a nuclear bunker, like not bunker, but yeah,
Why-
test site.
Okay, all right. So we skip rescue teams, salvage teams,
Anything.
like military. Like,
Yeah, you don't leave a fucking military base with potentially the most dangerous weapon in the universe just sat there.
no, they are welcoming this 2,000-year-old ship. Yeah, they're like, even the Empire in Star Wars reacts when an old code is
Yeah,
read. Like, yeah, that's an old code, and Darth Vader just passes it because he already knows it's the rebels. But,
yeah,
But the engineers just like, all right, this is this really old model.
that's like if you went into town and then someone pulled up in a horse and carriage.
Yeah, with
And
a
you're like,
spear.
what? Yeah, like not even horse and
started
carriage. Like
started chopping down people with the spear, and you're like, oh,
exactly.
yo, welcome to my town.
You wouldn't. Well, you'd be like, what the hell's going on?
But that scene, because I didn't react when I saw the scene. I reacted to that after the movie because I was like,
Yeah.
all right, so David is this almighty space god now. He can do. He's an android created by humans, but he
Yeah.
can go through space because he doesn't have to, sleep. So he can research the whole time or something like that. So he creates
Yeah.
the dust, attacks the engineers that created humans, and basically rules space. He's the space lord.
Yeah.
And Scott
Which-
said the engineers only live 150. Yeah. So, well,
Yeah, so it's not like they're immortal, because immortality comes with stagnation,
yeah.
whereas limited lifespan comes with renewal and inventiveness, because you've got stuff to fight against.
Oh, and by the way, we spoke about, how the only human interaction in the fucking movie was between two androids.
Yeah.
All right, so if we count the drinking scene in as human, because that one is kind
Sure.
of new body-wise. But the scene, what is that guy called? Is it called Texas? No. He's called State.
He's called Tennessee.
Oh, right, Tennessee. When his girlfriend dies,
Yeah.
there's like a scene of him being angry, sad,
Yeah,
and
just for a
then they,
second.
and then it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get revenge on this fucking planet. And I'm like, okay, cool.
The character reactions to stuff is so inconsistent, especially at the end.
Yeah,
Especially with that fucking sex scene.
yeah, and well, eventually the crew start to die off, and they get, they start to understand something's wrong, and the captain decides to talk to David, and David decides to show him what he has created.
Yeah.
First he shows, Elizabeth Shaw's tombstone, and
Yeah.
he speaks some bullshit that we find out is a lie, because we see her later, and then he shows him the eggs, and he gets attacked by an egg, by a facehugger, because he just stands there watching like a fucking idiot. He's like, oh my god, it moves, but yeah, look closer. When someone says
up,
look closer, like, okay,
it's the exact same scene as the snake worm thing.
yeah, and
He goes up to it. Why would you ever go up to that thing?
and then we get, and here we get the passive aggressiveness from Ridley Scott, basically.
Oh, yeah.
He does that because he knows it's stupid, and then the chest burster happens, and then the xenomorph happens.
Oh yeah, which you remember how in the first Alien it was kind of like a snake thing that escaped really quickly, so it could shed
Yeah.
its skin and grow up. No,
Yeah.
this one's just a small version of it.
Oh god, yeah, that
It looks terrible.
I didn't feel it when I sat there, but afterwards, that passive aggressiveness just came by me. I feel like that is a statement that he didn't want that alien that we wanted, so he has
Yeah.
fucked with us and made a cute baby version of the xenomorph.
Oh man.
And I was like, after thinking through that a couple of days later, after I had done my review, sadly, I
Yeah.
was just like, that must have been just a big fuck you, because that is a detail you can't forget.
I think the entire film is a big fuck you. I
Yeah.
think the film is part Ridley Scott's reaction of everyone not liking Prometheus, and part the studio wanting to make more money. And they're like, oh, well, just put a xenomorph in it. That's what they want to see. Call it Alien, put a xenomorph in it. And Ridley Scott's like, you know what? They didn't like Prometheus. Fuck them. I'm going to do my film. I'm going to show them. Because it really comes across as, when you put everything that happens in the film, it's essentially he's wiping the slate clean from Prometheus. Nothing happens in the film. The only thing that actually happens is David gets on the colony ship, and now he has all these people to test on. That is literally the only thing of any note that happens.
He kind of, yeah, when thinking of it, nothing of importance really happens.
No, Alien Convent is part 3 of a 4-part film series.
Yeah, it's just...
They just skipped part 2 because no one liked Prometheus. So Ridley Scott said, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to make this film and wipe the slate clean and start again and do what I want to do.
Yeah,
and tell the alien stories how I want to tell it.
Yeah, but you're right when thinking of it. It is just a bridge into... I don't know what's coming after that movie, but he can do whatever he wants, because he basically he has the embryos of the facehuggers, right?
Yeah.
I thought they formed in...
I don't...
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. He has those embryos. And the whole twist in that movie was just so fucking dumb and predictable. That was also fuck you. Because it was like... I thought, like, okay, that twist is so fucking stupid and predictable, he can't do it. And then he does it anyway. And I was like, fuck you. You write better than this.
Yep.
And yeah, I can't think of it. It's passive aggressive as fuck.
It really is. It just comes across as it's like that kid who takes all his toys home. I want to take all my toys home so you can't play with them.
Yeah, exactly. And like the whole fight scene with Alien, kudos to the guys that animated that, by the way. But like the one who wrote that scene. What movie did you write that action scene from? There's like
Right.
there's like chains and the fucking swinging in the air and shit.
It comes out of nowhere, especially with that character who has done nothing up till this point.
Yeah, and I also thought like, all right, so this is this platform ship, whatever it is, transport ship, I guess, and it kind of almost tips over because there is xenomorph on it, or what?
Yeah.
What is the thing?
That thing looks like it's designed as a loader. It picks stuff up.
Yeah, it has a crane. They
Yeah.
use the crane to swing people under it.
And yet somehow one human-sized thing managed to destabilize the whole, like, throw it off balance.
Yeah, and a xenomorph probably weighs less than a human. So
I would expect so. There's not much mass there.
yeah, so yeah, that kind of got me confused. But yeah, so, as I said, I enjoyed the shot I enjoyed the most of the alien. I think was when he roars at them under the platform. Like I was like,
Yeah.
all right, that's a nice shot. And the rest of the action scene is just dorky.
Oh yeah, yeah. Muddy in the chest just reminded me of my idea of what this film should have been.
Yeah.
So it's based on the idea of the neomorphs, the white ones. Basically, there's a point where it stands up straight and looks at David, and it's almost like it's starting to act human.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it adopts a posture, and I thought, you know what, that would be really creepy if you were just walking down the street and you just looked to the side and you just saw that standing there, pretending to be human. And so my idea was,
I like that scene.
there was a creepy shot. I mean, I like the design.
Yeah.
Okay, so have it set on the same planet. David kills the things, he does experiments, whatever. Few years later, the colony ship arrives on that planet and colonize it because it's perfect. They colonize it. It's okay. Everything's going fine. They set up a city. It starts getting thing. All of a sudden, people start disappearing.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? There shouldn't be anything. We've got this place scoped out. Nothing's happened for the last 5 years. Now suddenly people are disappearing. So you investigate it. You have a character who's like ex-cop, whatever. Someone starts investigating this mystery. You hear local urban legends from the kids. They start talking about the thing called the Pale Man or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you slowly realize they're weird xenomorphs and they're mimicking people. Like they're pretending to be people in the streets.
Oh, that would be cool.
And then they find this out. It's like, where are they coming from? We never saw these before. And then you find out David's been watching them this entire time, and he's been picking people for experiments very slowly. He's got his own petri dish with his colony,
Yeah, that would be that is great.
because it's alien, but it's different. It's a colony of people. It's a almost investigation crime film,
Yeah, but that's a little bit that bothered me with Alien Covenant is that it kind of confirms that somehow, as you said, that the xenomorph would be the perfect life form when it's not. Whatever that white thing is clearly a. What if David made the white one out of xenomorphs? Like, instead that would make so much more sense, because the white one seems to be intelligent on another level. I mean, the xenomorph is intelligent, but only in ways of a velociraptor. I mean, it kills things.
Yeah.
But the white one, that scene when he takes a posture, almost listening to what he said, and then dies. But
it stands up almost exactly like David does.
Yeah, it kind of mimics him, and
shoulders up, chest out, and arms to the side. It adopts the posture of a person, whereas before it would scramble around on all fours.
Yeah, and that alien just ripped off a head, so it's like it gets like, oh shit, it's intelligent. Fuck.
Yeah.
I fucking like that idea. That is great.
That's what this film should have been. Something different, but continuing the story a little bit, but different enough where you don't feel like you've seen it all before, and it's not pointless.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is good writing. That is interesting. That is
That
cool.
is
That is
literally
nice.
something that I thought of after watching the movie. It's like, here's a better situation, a more interesting situation, and something that would pay off more,
Yeah, it would
instead of what it was, which was nothing.
because yeah, I have had a lot of thoughts about Covenant, but I never thought of it as you said that it's just like clean slating.
Hmm.
Because that is true. Because what it does is just takes away everything and keeps Fassbender.
I mean,
Basically,
regardless of what you thought of Prometheus, I was interested in seeing what happened to Elizabeth and David.
yeah,
That could have been its own thing right there. But he just kills Elizabeth off screen
yeah,
and makes David like a maniacal maniac. He's a mad scientist now.
yeah. It's like not only is he Space Lord, he is Dr. Mengele Space Lord. So it's
Yeah.
like this super Space Lord that plays flute. With it kind of fits, you know. You know how maniacs always have this weird fucking hobbies, and I don't. I like the character of David, but
Yeah.
probably mostly because it's Fassbender playing him.
Yes, I think he like like
He
he does so
brings
much to make that character work.
Yeah, he brings out that character because he's a very good character in Prometheus too.
Hmm.
So he's really good at playing an android
Yeah.
compared to a lot of other androids.
Yeah.
The alien. I mean, they have been semi, believable. I always liked in the old alien movies that they always seem kind of human until they die, because then they go full android. They're like,
Yeah.
and I was like, but Fassbender has always felt like an android, an actual android, because they emphasize that in the scene when he plays the piano.
Yeah, it's really disappointing to make like they've just kind of made him the villain, and it's like that really seems to be selling the character short. I always feel like there's something more going on there, but they either can't write that intelligently or just haven't bothered, you know?
Yeah, but I also think that it kind of suffers, as we said, from passive aggressiveness. So I think
Yes.
that some of this movie it could have been good. It could have been so good. Because even if Prometheus is crap, it sets up something you can build on and make something
Yeah.
amazing out of it. So
Definitely.
so, and then we just shit on that too, and then we add a Friday the 13th-esque sex scene with a
Oh,
xenomorph
man.
trying to pound some pussy. I don't know. That
Okay.
scene was like, who the fuck directed that? And we know who did it, and it was just
Yeah.
a fuck you. It was the last scenes of Alien Covenant is basically a revisit of Alien,
Yeah.
since they have a xenomorph on board, and then it's just a fuck you, basically.
And then they need to blow out the airlock again because some producer said no, that's what the audience wants.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like Ridley Scott did it just because, whatever. But the scenes on the ship,
Yeah.
everyone acts moronic.
Yeah.
And
From
it's
the
like,
get-go.
every scene on the ship with the xenomorph feels like they are intentionally kind of satiring the first Alien and
Yeah.
kind of mocking it a bit, because that shower scene, it's just it comes there, and it's like it takes all the scare of it.
Yeah. Like even put yourself in those characters' places. They've just lost a whole part of their crew and friends. They're all dead. They've also discovered that alien species exist. This
They
is like
they
this
all,
is so much bigger, but no, they just go to the shower to have sex. It's like what?
yeah, and they also find out that they lost a certain number of colonists,
Yeah,
and a certain number of plants and stuff that's is essential for their colony. So
they
know
just lost
this.
2 captains,
Yeah,
and
every ship
oh
does
no,
that.
let's go into the shower to have sex. No, that's not what people would do.
No, and
But the thing is, if you go with my idea, it's an established colony. You can have your sour section, of course, because they're colonists. They're gonna be fucking.
yeah, but that's kind of the thing with Alien. Something is weird with sex scenes in Alien overall because
Yes.
it's always been very unsexy. Like
Yeah.
even when Sigourney Weaver is in her underwear, it's the scene and everything. It's just super not sexy.
No.
It's just it's meant to be just an everyday thing.
I think you empathize with her so much. You put yourself in that position. So you put yourself in the position you're standing in your underwear,
Yeah,
being chased by something.
yeah.
That's uncomfortable,
Yeah.
let alone scary.
But none of the Alien films, as I recall, have ever been sexy. And
No.
that scene in Covenant, not only is it a sex scene, apparently the xenomorph went in on that action. Why
Yeah,
would the xenomorph just put out his tail like that? That's not, he never
don't
used
know.
it like that before.
No, because if it's gonna use its tail, it's gonna use it to impale someone. But it doesn't. It just takes it back in. Like it's overtly sexual for no reason.
Yeah, yeah,
If it was H.R. Giger's original design for the alien, maybe the sexuality would be a part of it. But they got rid of that really quick.
yeah. Because it's the perfect creature. It doesn't have feelings like that, so it wouldn't do any dumb thing. But apparently, this alien is horny.
I guess.
Maybe the android could relate to that, and they create. Fuck it.
Maybe because it just been born, it was going through adolescence. It's going through that phase.
Puberty.
Yes.
Space puberty from a
Oh, no.
murder machine. Like, all right, sure.
God damn it.
And then like and it ends with it's David, and he puts those embryos in there. And you see, if we skip this movie and then start your movie there, we got a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is another Alien announced.
They did announce it, but I don't know if this Covenant did enough well to really kind of get one.
Yeah, because I mean, if we take a comparable franchise that had a lot of spin-offs, as I mentioned before, take Jurassic Park. So you had Jurassic Park 1, which is an amazing movie, and the book is also great. And then we take The Lost World, which is, it's fun. It's not a good movie. It's dumb.
No.
It has some great scenes. It has 2 T-Rexes, which is cool. And a T-Rex baby, which is, by the way, the stupidest fucking act in cinema history, I think, is bringing a T-Rex into your fucking home. But
Yeah.
and the rest of it is basically Godzilla if it wasn't Godzilla, but it is a T-Rex in suburbia instead of New York. And Jurassic Park 3 is a lot of a screaming rich lady that you want to kill, and overly smart kids. I don't know why Sam Neill agreed to that. And then we have Jurassic World, which is better than the sequels to Jurassic Park, but it has someone communicating with raptors. I guess you can do that. No, you can't. But I kind of like Jurassic World.
Yeah.
But that really put me... The scene when he rides his motorcycles and his raptors are like his gangbangers. I was like, fuck off.
Oh, man.
This is so fucking dumb.
That's pure, like, pulp, like, nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, that's some Turok shit.
Yeah, Turok is the perfect example. But I can get, that a trainer has, control over the raptors, that they respect and fear him, because
Sure.
but he doesn't have an electric rod or anything. But which one should have when you have
Yeah.
4 murder machines that, by the way, work in packs. So, so that movie is, the new Jurassic Park movies, they are fun more than anything, mostly because they're dumb.
Yeah.
What I liked with Jurassic World is that the scientist that was in Jurassic Park is in Jurassic World, and he created the, what is it called, the Innominatus Rex?
Iridomics Rex or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he created that, and he was in the first Jurassic Park. It's the same
Yeah.
character. That is kind of fun. That is just a gag from the writers, obviously. But so there comes out a Jurassic World 2, and the trailer for that was just dinosaurs running from a volcano or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's gonna be, but it's gonna be better than the Alien franchise. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be good movies, but it's fun movies. If you can't go for good, go for fun.
Yeah, and Prometheus and Alien Covenant did not do that.
Prometheus tried hard. Covenant just didn't try because it was passive aggressive.
Yeah.
And if another Alien movie comes out, please God give it to someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know who owns the franchise, but
Well, Disney might own it now.
oh yeah, they do. They do.
Because they bought Fox, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh God.
So there's a chance that they own it, and if that's the case, I don't think they'll continue with Convent. They'll probably reboot it.
Yeah, I think there would be a remake of the first Alien in that case. And sure, I would welcome that. People were really scared when Disney bought Star Wars, and because they were like, Mickey Mouse, Star Wars, and shit. And I was like, that Disney produced Pulp Fiction? Like, it's a big company.
Yeah.
And while not everyone likes the new route Star Wars takes, it at least does something with it. And they are not afraid to take risks, obviously.
Hey, it's not the Phantom Menace.
It's not. Like, you can dislike
and that's a positive thing.
You can dislike the new Star Wars all you want, but it's not the prequel. So whatever you say, I enjoy these movies, go fuck off. And if someone and if someone says, well, Attack of the Clones is kind of good, it's like,
no, it's not.
The only good thing with Attack of the Clones is the clone troopers, because they are cool. Like,
I guess the only good thing that came out with that was all the cartoon series that came out from that.
Yeah, I never saw that, but
they're pretty good.
Yeah, I hate her. What is it called? Ahsoka?
Oh yeah. The more enjoyable parts of that are with the clone troopers.
Yeah,
it kind of goes weird and moralistic with it. Like, it questions the morals of doing that.
I would
kind of interesting.
probably skim through it sometime. But what I liked the Star Wars episode 2 was that for the first time the troopers acted like military.
Yes.
Like actual military.
Oh yeah, Muddy's just pointed out they'll make a Alien cinematic universe.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah. Like, but that's also what I liked with The Force Awakens. A lot of people said it's a rehash, and yeah, it is a rehash. But it's like it kind of had to do that,
after the prequels.
Yeah, it was like
let's get this back on track.
Yeah, and in that movie, what I like with that movie is, once again, the troopers are actually troopers. They're not some bitches standing around. I fucking love that scene when that guy draws out his close combat weapon, whatever the fuck is, what that is. It's some kind of, nunchuck shit. But it's awesome. It's like, he's like, yeah, bring your fucking lightsaber. I don't care.
Yeah. It's like they thought about it. It's like
Yeah,
you may encounter people with lightsabers. Let's create a weapon to counter that and
yeah,
train the soldiers to use it.
and all the scenes with X-wings in that movie, like flying around, the act like military. I like that, and I like also like Rogue One because it's
Mm.
really like I like the idea of Star Wars stories that aren't epic. Uh,
Yeah,
so it's kind of good. While that movie ended like we're not gonna continue this one, it just we kill them all. So we don't have to
yeah,
we don't have to ask we don't have to answer any questions. Just murder them.
yeah,
Uh, which is, I mean, I would say it's kind of a wise move since episode 4 happens right
yeah.
after. But it was kind of not expected when I
Mm.
looked at it, and I was like, yeah, you're just gonna sit there. Oh, all right, okay,
Have fun, kids.
yeah, and
Let's
like
go see Star Wars. Oh no, everyone's fucking dead.
shit, yeah. Imagine the parents, like the parents took
Oh
their kids
man.
to Force Awakens, and they're like, yeah, this is Star
Yeah.
Wars shit, and then Rogue One comes out, and they're like, yeah, let's go watch that, and they realize, oh shit, we're watching Space Saving Private Ryan, like,
Basically.
and I was like, I love how gritty it is because the Star Wars society has always been gritty. Like
Yeah.
it's always flashy and spacey, on the spaceship and when important characters are there. But the actual citizens in Star Wars live in shit. Uh,
Yeah.
so there is apparently a Han Solo movie coming out,
Mm.
and that movie hasn't been talked about a lot.
No.
And they only released the teaser,
Yes, suspiciously, it's been very quiet about that film,
and it releases in 2 months.
and they had to reshoot 90% of it.
And basically, this some people I talked with said like, yeah, but it's kind of a good sign that they don't spoil the movie. And I was like, no, that's a bad sign. If you don't want to show the
Yeah.
movie, that's a horrible sign, especially for a franchise as big as Star Wars. That like
You show off the good stuff.
like like if you have a big franchise as Star Wars and you make a movie in a big franchise like that, and you don't build up hype, the movie is gonna suck ass.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad. And by the way, who the fuck asked for a Han Solo movie? We asked for a Boba Fett movie.
Yes. Yes, we did.
We the thing is, we don't need to know Han Solo's past because we know
No.
his character.
Boba
Like,
Fett, we know literally nothing about.
we know he looks cool, and that he gets eaten by a desert anus, the Sarlacc. And we know that his dad, who was, the biggest Jedi hunter in the galaxy,
Yeah.
when his backpack breaks, he dies. He's yet. I hate that scene in
Yeah.
episode 2 because it's like, all right, so if your jetpack break, you have nothing.
Yeah.
I played that game Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It was on GameCube and PS3, and you play as Jango Fett. That game is better. It gives Jango Fett, the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
The movie, I don't know why they tried to paint him out as this, dad. Like, he's a mercenary.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And he has a son. And it's like, no, no, you can't go now. Only when you get older. And it's like, oh, right, so he's a good guy.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Like, a guy like that, he would keep one for himself for, I don't know, additional organs, something.
Yeah. And I would like a Boba Fett movie because there are other bounty hunters that we just see in a scene that they could
Yeah.
evolve on, like Bosk, the Trandoshan that is in Empire Strikes Back. When the Empire briefs the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
You see Trandoshan and others. Those characters have names.
Yeah.
So they could be in that movie. But no, we make a Han Solo movie. It will sell better. Oh wait,
Yeah, basically.
it's gonna suck. I'm gonna go see that movie in cinema. I'm gonna pay money to see a movie that I know literally. I don't even know who plays Han Solo.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm gonna EMDB this right now because Solo, a Star Wars story. What the title? That
Yeah, that's not a good title.
you couldn't. I mean, a Star Wars story that I understand, but Solo, like nothing else. Like I don't know. Let's see. Oh God, Emilia Clarke is. So Emilia Clarke is in the movie. Woody Harrelson is in the movie. What? He plays a character named Tobias Beckett?
That is the most normal name any person in Star Wars has ever had.
Yeah, I don't. If I go in my living room now and pick up the name tables for the RPG, or different RPGs of Star Wars,
Yeah.
you won't find Tobias Beckett.
No, you will
Not
not.
even for humans. Fuck off. All right, so Donald Glover plays Lando Calrissian. That is Danny Glover's son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see if I recognize any other names. Dryden Voss. I know that name. I don't remember it because I read Expanded Universe.
Yeah.
Chewbacca. Another droid. L337 is played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. All right. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 named characters. Half of these doesn't have names,
Yeah.
and one is titled Dancer, and one is titled Elite Citizen.
Ooh.
Oh, this movie is gonna be great.
Yep.
One is titled as Alien Creature.
Wow. Could you get any more of a like what?
Aren't okay? So in Star Wars, almost all races are
Yeah.
they are like there are Wikipedias of
Yeah.
races in Star Wars. They are like stated as races in Star Wars, and then you go with alien creatures. What is he? A blob? Like you can't identify him.
I like shisha smoking guest. just a guy on a sheesh being like, "Well, what's up?" And mud troopers.
What?
Mud troopers sounds like the name the elite troopers give the lower ranks.
Yeah, it sounds like a camaraderie rank from Starship Troopers, like they
Or
call it
like
they call it privates mud troopers or something.
yeah, or like the TIE fighter pilots called the troopers that go on the ground mud troopers.
Yeah, and also this is not nearly enough actors to make a Star Wars movie. By the way,
No.
this is
Apparently, one person plays deck people. he plays several deck people.
and I like
Not deck person, deck people.
and poor this actor Mark S. He plays an Imperial officer, and that officer isn't even named.
Oh God.
I don't think there has been a Star Wars movie where an officer hasn't been named because they usually say their name when they talk to them. Or is this an officer just in the background? He's even uncredited, the poor bastard.
I know, right?
And
That would be great.
Sean James
In the
play henchman.
fantastic.
Who
It
is
would be great if in the film they actually just refer to him as Imperial Officer. You there, Imperial Officer.
I would sit in the theater and was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe IMDb credited right."
Yeah.
That was like this right now. This casting is like I think the Deadpool sequel is called Deadpool the untitled sequel right now.
Yeah.
I think that is its actual name because it's Deadpool. So kind of a joke in itself.
Yeah.
But this movie actually does that unironically with its characters. I mean, some of these actors that aren't named are do even have pictures and stuff on.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like this is made from like the trailer. Like people have found out who they were and just put it added the information based on the trailer.
Yeah, because
So that's why you've got alien creature, because they don't know what the species is.
I mean, it has to be because I mean, I follow Bloody Disgusting closely, and
Yeah.
there has been nothing. This movie is, I mean, I would say it's dead on arrival. I know it's gonna make money anyways, but it's dead on arrival, and I have never seen a movie that do they have the budgets out? No, they don't want to reveal that.
Yeah, I doubt they'll let any of that information out yet.
It's released 23rd of May. Like, if they were gonna rush the movie, they could, 4th of May.
Yeah, you would think.
But I guess they needed those extra, 20 days. Production companies are too many. And I don't know. One rumor that the female lead was going to be a non-Caucasian suggested that Sana Staros, who appeared in Marvel Star Wars issue number 6 as an associate of Han's, who previously posed as his what?
That's some fan like saying, "Oh, it's going to be this character because they were in a comic once."
Yeah, and a more. Wait, did Disney own Marvel?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why it was a Marvel. I was confused. Wait, Phil and Christopher Miller left the film in June 2017, only 3 weeks away from finishing principal photography. Wow.
Yeah.
The duo apparently clashed throughout all of the production process, with the producer Kathleen Kennedy, co-writer Lawrence Kasdan, and other Lucasfilm members over at the direction and tone of the film. Miller and Lord had been encouraging improvisation. Fuck off. Improvisation. Don't encourage that in a big budget Star Wars movie. Go.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
It's kind of weird that they chose those two directors to do like this film.
Improvisation is what ruined the new Ghostbusters. Like,
oh yeah,
because that movie was so poor, it was barely scripted, so everything sucks. And making an overall comedic film against Kasdan's wish for them to follow his script, eventually they stepped away due to creative difference. I agree with that. You can't do a smuggler story comedy. I mean, you can, but not. I mean, you can make Han Solo put out one-liners. He always does that, but I mean, although originally brought on board to complete Solo, the Star Wars story 2018, after Phil Lord and Christopher Miller had been dismissed due to creative differences, it was widely reported in October 2017 that Ron Howard had reshot more than 80% of the movie. Yeah,
that's always a good sign, isn't it?
Woody Harrelson was picked over Christian Bale as Han Solo's mentor. What? What?
Yeah.
I mean, every time you see Woody Harrelson, I know he could act, but seeing him in a Star Wars movie,
yeah, he's kind of too well known to be in Star Wars.
His face is so unique, you can't make anything of it. It's like you can see Christopher Lee as Count Dooku, but that's because Christopher Lee is amazing. So you can do that. Christian Bale is better. I usually say, if you don't know who to cast Gary Oldman, because he can look as anyone. Because every time he is in the movie, I can't tell it's him until I read it.
Yeah.
It's like in Harry Potter when he plays Sirius. I didn't know it was him. And every movie Gary Oldman is in, I am like, who is that? And then I check it out. Oh, yeah.
I think the most Hannibal was a particularly weird one.
Yeah.
where you find out he's the guy in the wheelchair, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, but he's like a chameleon. You can,
Yeah.
his face must be like some like amazing thing to work with. So you can do whatever you want with it. It's
Yeah.
Han Solo was originally going to appear during the Battle of Kashyyyk in Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge
Oh
of the
no.
Sith, in which an orphan 10-year-old Han Solo,
Oh
who
no.
is being raised by Chewbacca, helps
Ah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi to locate and find General Grievous, but find that was a mouthful. Glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm sure shit. Glad that didn't happen. Fucking Plinkett pretty much called that shit.
Yeah, yeah, he did, and wow, raised by Chewbacca. So it's like I thought they disowned the Christmas specials. So, so we still had to go back to Chewbacca's family. I thought they were
Im-
kind of poorly represented.
imagine if that was the story. Han Solo was raised by Chewbacca. That completely changes the dynamic in the original trilogy.
So it's Space Mowgli. So
Yeah.
George Lucas' original idea was Space Jungle Book.
Yeah.
On a side note of the main story.
But did you ever see Han's interactions with Chewbacca as being anything other than partners?
No.
But now he's a father figure to him? That's fucking weird.
Yeah, because I think that Han is more of a mentor to Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they have this camaraderie, and like Han Solo is always picking on him for being dumb, a bit like when they're repairing the ship. It's always
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, no, that would be weird. Wait, Ron Howard was reportedly considered to direct Star Wars Episode 1, but declined the offer, calling the task too daunting.
Oh no.
18 years later, he accepted the offer to direct this film. Yeah, but George Lucas isn't on this, so that's why.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna see if I find something really bad here. This was a long one, so it's... oh, God. Wait. Josh Trank was originally to be signed on to direct the second Star Wars anthology film after Rogue One, but eventually dropped out given the overwhelming bad press of his most recent film, Fantastic Four. Yeah, that movie sucked.
Yeah, he was the wrong person to direct
Yeah.
that.
Have you ever realized that all Fantastic Four movies suck ass? Can they just realize that Fantastic Four suck?
Fantastic Four does not work as a
No.
premise for a movie.
It works.
Maybe a TV series, but even then,
It works as a PG-13 series at best.
like Fantastic Four is very, very tongue-in-cheek and like campy.
Yeah,
It doesn't fit with a lot of the other Marvel stuff.
yeah. Let's say it didn't age well.
No.
Stating, I want to do something original after this because I've been living under public scrutiny, as you have seen for the last 4 years of my life. Oh God, this really got to him, and it's not
Oh,
healthy
yeah.
for me right now in my life. I want to do something that's below the radar. Oh boy, I feel bad for him. Jesus,
Oh yeah.
that
He sounds like he didn't have a good time directing Fantastic Four, to be honest.
it's a personal decision to move forward on a different path. I put tremendous amount of thought into this, and I know deep down in my heart that I want to pursue some original creative opportunities. He's gonna end up doing horror films.
Well, I think that's what he wanted to do with Fantastic Four.
Yeah, while
He wanted to
wait,
make it into a body horror film.
yeah, wait. While there is speculation that he was fired because there were too many stories that detail his erratic behavior on the set of Fantastic Four, well, I mean, maybe he medicated with amphetamines to fucking make it through.
Yeah.
Like, and Trank has since denied this as being a fact. Yeah, you don't admit drugs. Although Trank's film was meant to be the second anthology film being released in 2018, the film in question would not have been Solo. According to Entertainment Weekly, it would have been Boba Fett.
Yeah, there it is.
Fuck you. Just dive into the bag again. Fuck. Apparently, Apparently, it came so close to being officially announced. Lucasfilm even prepared a teaser reel that is more than they did for Solo now. Teaser
Yeah.
reel to show at Star Wars Celebration in spring 2015, but was pulled last minute. Lucasfilm president Kathleen fuck you, all but confirms this notion in recent film interviews, stating, "And to be perfectly honest, we have changed the order of the spin-offs." Yeah. Wait, the film will be set before start. Fuck off. Yeah, I know that. Who wrote that trivia?
I don't know. It's really long-winded and pointless.
Let's see if it's find anything more bad. This film is not released yet and have as much trivia as Alien 3.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good sign.
Wait, first ever film in the franchise to shoot on digital over film. Oh god. Oh no. That is not good. First ever film in the franchise to shoot on digital over film stock.
So it's gonna look great.
No, it's not.
It's gonna look great.
No, it's not. Why aren't they shooting on 35 millimeters?
Because they wanted it to be cheap.
Oh my god. No, even the prequels were shot in 35s,
Yeah.
and they look like shit. I mean, what is it called? The guy who plays Qui-Gon Jinn. Neeson.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because
Yeah.
he's the only one that tries, but yeah, it's just bad. He has half of the movie he has to act against a kid. That's just horrible.
Gonna act against the green screen and act against this fucking 10-year-old who can't act.
Yeah, and I mean he has to be, nice.
Yeah.
Did you see that extra footage from It when Bill Skarsgård they do a shoot first when he just jokes around with the kid?
No, I don't think so.
Because the kid that plays Georgie didn't know Bill Skarsgård. So the first time they shot the sewer scene when he loses his arm, the first time Bill Skarsgård didn't follow the script, but instead joked around with him, made him like a balloon or something like that. So the kid knew he was safe. So he didn't. So the kid knew he wouldn't be scared. And I was like, more actors need to be like that because the kid actors in It are good.
Yeah.
And I think that's because they're comfortable. They're like, you can't do like Stanley Kubrick and not tell the kid what he's doing. Like, I wonder what that kid's doing today. I wonder he's traumatized that he did The Shining and didn't fucking know it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine seeing that film as an adult and it's like, what the fuck? Wait. Ron Howard co-starred with Harrison Ford in George Lucas directed American Graffiti. Harrison Ford later went on to Star Wars: A New Hope as Han Solo. Okay, this trivia could have been written in 1 second.
Yeah, that's not that's not relevant.
People are insane. All right, we're gonna end this podcast, and I got a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, you've got like 4 hours.
Yeah, we said it would be long, but the thing is, we could probably talk more. But the thing is, you get exhausted.
Yeah, I've had the last 3 days of this. Just Prometheus on the brain constantly.
Yeah, and I was like, oh god. Yeah, but I got some editing to do, but so we will see when it comes up. Hopefully Monday. I'm not gonna promise that.
Yeah. Well, to conclude, fuck Prometheus. Alien's a good film.
Yeah, fuck it, and goodbye, everyone. I'm signing off.
Bye. Ugh. I feel like we've grown as people. I feel like we've got through some barriers here. We can move on with our lives. Yeah, it's... Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like a betrayal. It's like, how can you treat people like that?